Good whenever you are.
I'm back, bitches!
It's the only one I have. It's the only one I have. That being said, hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of the Chaotic Codpast. I'm Jurassic Nate. I'm joined here with Big Ape 93. What's up, buddy?
What's up? I am so excited to do this. It's
Oh
been a
my,
long time coming.
we've been friends since 2014, and we've had this discussion on and off here and there, small pieces, discussing like small parts of it. But tonight's the first night that we will discuss Dragon Ball from OG to Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Yeah. And it's really cool, right? Because Dragon Ball is literally how we met.
Literally, like we met at Anime BluesCon in Memphis, and he's starting the he's hosting the Dragon Ball panel. We meet the day before the panel. I don't even remember how that happened. I don't remember how we met. We just started talking somewhere, and the next day at the panel, I'm standing at the front of the room just talking to him, keeping the conversation. And the girl working the panel room, is it going to be... No, it was us and Billy.
Yep, Billy was there too.
And is it going to be you three hosting the panel? And I'm going, what? And Billy goes, no, I'm good. I'm just here. I'm just hanging out. And
Dakota's like, come on!
And Dakota was like, yeah, it's going to be us two. I was like, okay. So my first anime convention, I get roped in... I unintentionally roped into hosting a Dragon Ball panel. And it spawned like a hell of a friendship, but it was just so much fun, and a lot of disappointment because I made a joke that we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, the world's best joke. But so sad.
I've tried to keep my podcast under like an hour and a half to 2 hours or so. I don't know how long this was going to go.
It's tough to say. What you drinking there, buddy?
Arizona sweet tea. Southern style real brewed.
That's good. Those ever go above $1, then the world's ending.
Oh, I know, right?
But yeah, no, this is exciting times for this podcast, Codpast.
Gotta say it right. Gotta say it right. This is also one of the first times and one of the few times I'm going into this without a checklist.
Do we really need a checklist?
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I'm going to cover some of the basic questions that I usually do.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, this is just going to be a discussion. This is just going to be us talking about one of our favorite anime franchises of all time.
I know. And I know you're going to hit me with the first memory, and that's actually a tough one for me.
Mine's kind of funny.
No, do you remember it vividly? I have a couple of different ones, but I'm trying to remember which was the first.
Yeah. By the way, for those who are unaware, the first memory of Dragon Ball. I was in 3rd grade. And one of my classmates, you know, in elementary school, kids take toys to school all the time. Well, one of my classmates had a Goku and a Piccolo figure. And I remember looking at those figures going, what is that?
What is that? Mr. Green Man.
He said, it's called Dragon Ball Z. And it's a fighting anime. Like, what's anime? And,
oh, no.
And so he let me borrow Arrival.
Ah, okay.
Like, the first Ocean dub VHS, where it wasn't like episodes, it was done as a movie. So it was the first 4 episodes of Dragon Ball Z as a movie. And I was hooked on it.
Yeah, no, that was good. I remember when they did that. And I don't remember. It's tough because I think I did see Ocean Dub first because obviously that was the one. Because,
you know,
they would get to a certain point on Cartoon Network and it would just repeat.
Just restart because they were trying to dub the episodes, and that got really frustrating at a certain point. especially
Yeah.
when I was in high school during the Boo Saga,
Oh, absolutely.
because like
Um,
you'd get excited for like what's next, and then it'd go right back to like the start of the Otherworld tournament.
they're like, we're back. No, um, it's really tough. I think that is one of the first memories I have of it was something with the, honestly, it might have been Tree of Might, might have been one of the first
Really?
things I remember. Honestly, it's tough to say. And then I remember, and this is crazy because I got the, oh, what was it? It was the VHS tape of where Goku transforms into Super Saiyan.
Oh
And
man,
I
Frieza
actually
Saga
watched,
Transformation is the name of the VHS.
yeah,
By the
it's
way,
such a good
VHSs,
cover.
for those who don't know, are what we had before DVDs.
Uh, do we have any people in the chat that wouldn't know that? I
I
mean,
think we got a couple. For those who know, you know. Be kind. Rewind.
be kind, everyone. No, but it's funny because I watched that tape so much that we actually had to replace it and
Oh,
transfer the
oh yeah,
casing
oh
on
yeah,
it because
oh
it
yeah.
got so. I was like, oh man, I got to know what happens next. But
And a part of
it
me feels
was,
bad about this because you know your first memory of Dragon Ball is with Z.
yeah.
Because around the time that we were growing up, you know, Z was just starting out, and Dragon Ball was just kind of there.
Well, that's funny because
And
they did it.
I don't even remember
It's because
like
they flipped it because they didn't dub it until after Z exploded.
that's what I was thinking because I don't remember Dragon Ball
Well,
being a
there were
thing like the original Dragon Ball series being a thing
okay, so I'll
in
take
the
that back. There
90s.
were a couple of random dubs they
And they
did.
weren't Funimation, so
Yeah,
it wasn't Stephanie Nadolny or Tiffany.
it wasn't that. And then they
It
went
wasn't any of
back
them.
and redid it in like 2004 or 2003.
Was it really 2004 that they redid all of Dragon Ball?
Because, well, that's when Funimation did it
Oh yeah,
because at the same time, that's what conversed or converted into the Dragon Ball Blue bricks that they have now.
yeah.
I'm still a big component of why the DBZ Blu-rays. Why don't we do that for GT and Dragon Ball? Like, please.
Oh yeah.
That would be
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. First off, I still need to get Dragon Ball on DVD.
yeah,
And
that's the way to do
I
it.
guess I need to finish Super. I'm missing like the last 4 DVDs of it, but we'll get to
I
that.
think I,
We'll get there
yeah,
later.
we'll get there. But yeah, no, that's one of my first memories from it. Probably Tree of Might. Um, really good because I was like, ooh, what is this?
Because well, wait, he's fighting his clone. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's another element of that. And then there's
And they
a,
didn't really do much with that. Like when you look back on it, it's like they didn't do much
well,
with
they
that at all.
didn't, but
Like
you
Turles
got to
looks
remember
like
the,
Goku. Why is that?
you remember the other half of that movie is the plot is literally, hey, we're gonna plant a big ass tree.
And if you watch the Dragon Ball Z abridged, it's the Christmas tree at night.
Oh yeah, no, it was great,
But it just those
man.
earlier movies,
Hey, when they went back and redubbed those
they
too,
did, and it was fantastic. But
it
you
was
didn't
great.
have because movies 1, 2, and 3, Dead Zone, World's Strongest, and Tree of Might were Ocean dub because
Yep.
Funimation didn't get Dragon Ball until the Ginyu Saga.
Trying to think, what was it? The first dubbed movie was Lord Slug, wasn't it?
Yep, the first Funimation dubbed movie was Lord Slug back when they had Disturbed as the soundtrack.
Oh, that era, that and Cooler and
That
the
Cooler's Revenge, Super Android 13, though not so
all the
much, but
soundtracks.
Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. I remember when that movie like was coming out, and like all the VHSs leading up to it, you know, had the commercial for all the the movie, featuring songs by Pantera
Yep.
and just whoever else was on
This-
there. And then Bardock had Saliva Superstar.
It did. Yes, yes, yes.
What was Trunks' one? Did Trunks have one?
Okay, so History of Trunks was very heavy on Dream Theater, and that was my actual first
Ah,
experience
okay.
with them.
That explains your love for Dream Theater immensely.
Exactly. And I didn't even know it at the time. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then come to find out 10 years later, when I'm actually into prog music, I'm like, oh, I know this song from somewhere.
And it's one of your favorite Dragon Ball specials. If
Yes,
I
it
remember right.
is. It is one of my
Your
favorite
favorite depiction
specials.
of Gohan, which never
Oh
gets
yes.
revisited ever again, in terms of the actor portraying, but that's later conversation.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. As first memories, I don't know. Do you want to do overall? Do you have a favorite from this
I
Dragon Ball in
have
general, or
a favorite memory, or just
yeah,
because going back to like memories of Dragon Ball, from years long past, one of my best friends from middle and high school, um, he was as obsessed with Dragon Ball as I was. Which, by the way, back up a little bit. I want to say it was probably middle school or elementary school. My
okay,
family,
that makes sense.
my family had a habit of whenever I didn't make good grades, they would take away something that I was really into. And I remember specifically asking, "Can I have this back if I don't get as into it as I was last time?"
Oh,
And the
oh, I can
biggest
only
target,
imagine how you got into it. You're like,
oh
yeah.
yeah, the biggest target for that was always Dragon Ball. They always
Oh,
took Dragon Ball away from me. Well, this was a point when they had taken Dragon Ball away. Well, friend's over, he's hanging out, we're just chilling. And for those who know me, know I draw. Obviously, I drew back then. I would take
okay.
the old classic Dragon Ball Z cards, like the collectible card game,
Ooh,
and
I
I would
forgot
I
about
would
that.
try to find the coolest pictures, and I would just draw them. Well, for some reason, the one I was drawing was Raditz stepping out of the crater after putting Gohan in his sand pod. So
That's a good one.
I'm on my bed drawing the card. He's in the floor looking through cards. My mom comes in, says something to me. Like no, she was asking what we wanted for dinner, and she looks down at what we're doing. She goes, "You do remember you're not supposed to have that, right?"
Oh
I know,
no.
I know. I'm sorry. She was like, "Okay, close the door." Comes back and like 3 seconds later, opens the door and steps back into the room again. I was like, "What?" Looks down at the picture I'm drawing and she's like, "By the way, that looks good," and left.
Oh, well, see, that's
so,
nice.
so anyway,
Yeah, it's
said friend had. What's funny is like I had the biggest crush on his sister, who was 12 years older than us,
oh, what?
because her room
Oh,
was
was it
nothing but Dragon Ball Z wall scrolls.
really?
Like I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm in heaven right now. He had the Trunks VHSs, the Trunks Saga VHSs.
Okay. When they literally called it the Trunk Saga, and it
Yeah,
was like two tapes.
yeah, missing one episode.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, like the DVD for crap, what's that disc called? It's the second half of the saga where, like the initial release of it didn't have all the episodes, so the initial release of the VHSs was always missing an episode, and that episode
Yeah.
was the driving episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
It wasn't
no,
on the
I know what you're
VHS.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, there are some like releases of it on VHS and DVD that can easily like go, the cheapest I've seen was like $95 for that DVD because it's a rare one. But
Oh
anyway, he
yeah.
had both of those. He had Tree of Might and World's Strongest.
Ooh, World's Strongest. I forget about that. Sometimes that was a thing.
Honestly, that's my favorite of the original three movies.
It's such a weird movie.
It is, but
Uh,
it's so cool seeing like the Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi Kamehameha together.
that too.
But they had that and the Android, like the Android Saga VHS with Vegeta going
There's,
Super Saiyan for the first time.
yep, that's good too.
And every time he came over to the house or I went over there, we watched. Like he'd bring him with him to my house, or every time I went to his house, we'd watch him.
Yeah, no, I had friends very similar to that, and we would watch those, or we'd watch the cooler VHS. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then the little nugget of wisdom that I discovered
Uh oh.
one day was because, believe it or not, this used to be a thing. I saw, uh, what did they have? Was it Cooler or it was one of them? But they had the uncut version, and I was like, "What
Yeah,
the hell
yeah,
is
yeah,
that?"
yeah. That
Because
was a
that used
big
to
thing.
be a
It's like
thing.
uncut. What?
Edited, uncut. Yeah. So
Like, hold
that
on.
that
Like, what's this? And then you watch it,
so
and it's like, oh,
because if I remember right, and I could be wrong, for like the Frieza saga, the uncut and edited had completely two different picture scrolls, right?
on the side ones, yes. The side ones,
Yes,
yes.
because that was my favorite
The
thing.
uncut one, had Goku, uh, like slamming into the back of Frieza's neck.
Yep.
The edited version had like a collage of pictures of the background was Piccolo and Frieza's second form kind of clashing together. And then on
Yep.
the left side was Super Saiyan Goku, like the standard just kind of
Yep.
front face shot of Goku. And then the other side, on the right side, was Frieza, final form.
Now, can we talk about how cool that was that back then?
What, you mean how third form Frieza got no love, hardly? He was
Well, no, no,
in
no, not that.
he
Just
was in like
the
one
pictures
episode.
for it.
Oh god,
The pictures for it.
I miss those VHS. And then they dropped the ball with GT.
Because GT's wasn't as good.
They weren't
It
as good.
made something, but that and
It
like
did, but it was just like a
because I'm trying to think, didn't like and you would know this better than I would based off of that time frame, but didn't Yu Yu Hakusho have one too?
yeah.
Didn't
Yu
they
Yu
do those?
Hakusho had them
Yeah.
too. Yu Yu
It
Hakusho had them
was
too. I
like
think it was only those two, Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho, were the only two anime that did that.
such a cool concept to do because it's like, oh,
I
you
don't
you have a
remember. Yeah, dude. Spirit Detective Saga was, the shot. Like, it was a shot of the four of them in what looked like green, like a river of like green stuff kind of flowing by them. And
yeah.
Yusuke, and that Yusuke had his school shirt on, just draped over his shoulders.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's the cool thing about that, though. We always have this discussion, physical, digital, stuff like that actually
The
made the physical
Absolutely,
copies
yeah.
worth oh,
I
because
want
I
to
still
get
have
those.
some.
I want to get those again, just for collector's sake. But getting every single one of those, from Dragon Ball Z to GT to Yu Yu Hakusho, all of those, would be insanely pricey
Oh yeah, it's almost impossible to find some
at a
without
decent.
spending a good chunk
I
because you got to think it doesn't like you cannot get the full set on VHS. It just doesn't exist.
you
There's
can you
the
can. It's just hard. eBay is your
well,
friend, but at the same time, it's also your enemy because it's
no, I'm
eBay.
just talking about like the consistency of the dub because like
Oh yeah, because
the
they
Funimation
never
doesn't
released,
exist.
but they did have the Ocean dub had the same thing.
Yeah, it wasn't as cool though.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
That was its own
Um,
thing. But yeah, no, because trust me, I
I
remember
did have
seeing
all of the
those.
Fusion Saga. I did have all of the Fusion
I did
Saga
have all of that.
and Kid Buu Saga. No, I missed the first VHS of Kid Buu. I had everything else.
Was that the which one was that? I had one, and it was the one with was it Bibbidi on the cover of it?
Yeah,
Or was that the
Bibbidi.
second one?
That's the first one.
Okay.
Second one is probably my favorite Dragon Ball Z. You know, the single like those releases. Where it's like
Man.
the individual episodic releases.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm
That one
gonna
is
have to.
probably my favorite because it is nothing but the entirety of Goku versus Kid Buu.
Oh yeah,
Because
no.
then
I'm
he
gonna
has to
have
take a
to.
break to recharge, and then Fat Buu tags in, and Vegeta comes in and says, "Kakarot, you need to make the Spirit Bomb." I need to do what?
Oh yeah. No.
But the
Dude,
second
I'm
DVD
looking at
release,
some of these now, and I forgot how cool some of these are. Like
I miss it. I miss it so much. And
and I had all of these. The Fusion one with Buhan holding Gohan. That was a
That was my
classic
that was that
cover.
I love those. I love those. Like that is, for me, that is peak Dragon Ball because that's where like my nostalgia kicks in the most.
Oh, yeah, that's just fair.
Because
It's
that's when it really cemented itself as like fun fact. Like we're hyping up about Dragon Ball here. It's not my favorite anime. Yu Yu Hakusho is.
he ain't lying.
But Dragon Ball Z in particular is so iconic. Like to me, like it's almost its own level.
It is because it took it to like Yu Yu Hakusho is great, but it look. Let's be honest, it never hit the level Dragon Ball did.
It did
Like
with the Dark
very,
Tournament.
very few things have hit that level and had the consistency to stay like
That good.
what was Dragon Ball like 86 and it's 2022 and we're still talking
Yeah,
about like
we just got a brand new movie a couple weeks ago.
I know that's
And honestly, to me, it's still one of the best Dragon Ball movies we've ever seen. But again,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
That comes later.
That's
But what's funny is you asked the question, Frieza, Cell, or Boo? And we keep talking about Dragon Ball Z, but we're going to go to the original Dragon Ball here in a little bit.
oh yeah.
But the debate, Frieza, Cell, Boo, which one's the best villain? I say Frieza because of the fight. I say Cell because of the story. And Boo has a lot of cool concepts and animation. But Boo always comes in third for me.
No, I can agree with that. Except I would be flipped and it would be Cell Frieza Boo for me.
Well, that's the thing because like the only reason Frieza's number one is because of the fight. Like it's like there's so much happening, and it's got hands down the most iconic scene in anime, one of the most iconic transformation scenes.
Absolutely.
Like I can't think of any other anime scene. Then again, I don't really see a lot, but even people I've talked to, not much can top Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time.
That's true.
And the reason Cell is number two for me is while I love the story from, the introduction of Trunks coming back and saying, listen, these androids are going to come,
Yep.
blah, 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 all the way to the father-son Kamehameha. For me, the big fight with Cell is lackluster. Because Goku versus Cell is the best part of the fight.
At least it had a conclusive ending, though.
It did.
That was always my biggest gripe with the Frieza saga. It literally cuts at the end and then it picks back up.
But here's the thing. When Gohan steps into the ring, figuratively speaking, it is 80%. No, it is 80% talking, like 15% exposition, and 5% fighting. It's not much of a fight because it's either Cell beating the shit out of Gohan,
but there are other fights in that arc that are
and like you got Piccolo versus 17, which to me is one of the best fights in the series. You got 16 coming in fighting. You got Trunks versus Cell. Vegeta's throwdown with Cell. Vegeta coming and being Super Saiyan for the first time, because you have to include all of the android stuff too, because it's all connected.
Exactly, and it was just the era of Super Saiyans, and it was one of the.
You get a Super Saiyan. You get a Super Saiyan. You get a Super Saiyan.
True.
You get two Super Saiyans. You get one, then two.
But the negative connotation of that saga is, aside from little bits of Piccolo, that is when the trend of people not becoming relevant started.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when was Yamcha ever relevant?
It's true.
So
Yes, I Cap knows what's up. Trunks' intro will never be topped.
you can't. You can't. I mean, first off, how do you top the most tyrannical being in the universe coming to Earth after surviving an exploding planet and being sliced in half as a cyborg, only to get jobbed by this punk kid with a sword? It's like
Well, that's
holy.
the thing
It's
too,
like holy
because you're
shit. He's
like,
so strong. Like he can take out Frieza like this. Yeah, there's two beings stronger than me. What? They'll be here in 3 years. What?
by the way, Vegeta's my dad. Bulma's my
It's like that.
what?
That revelation in the anime was so funny.
No, but that was the before that got revealed. That was like I was on edge. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, back up. This kid just turned into a Super Saiyan.
And he's wait. Is that
What?
Capsule Corp on his jacket? What's going on here?
It's like, wait a second. He didn't even need to go Super Saiyan to kill Frieza.
really didn't.
Probably not, but
But
it
we
was
wanted
cool.
to show, and honestly, that's one of my favorite Super Saiyan transformations.
Oh, that is such a
Just
good
watching
one.
his hair in the Super Saiyan like form, like the sticking up, go from purple to like shining yellow. God, there's so much nostalgia for Dragon Ball Z. I love it.
And it was one of those elements where they used it so well of the, Frieza, the most powerful person. He has the eyes, the fear, and I was like,
Eyes.
it's like they have the same eyes. But yeah, no, that was. And then King Cold was like, oh, this
So
is a
this is
Super
a Super
Saiyan.
Super Saiyan. I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, but that was
I loved
great
his exchange
there.
with Trunks. I'm sorry, his little exchange with Trunks was fun. Just
This
like,
is
will you join me? No. Then can I see your sword? Sure. Die! I'm just kidding.
no, that's
That
fair
being said, I
too.
would have loved to have seen King Cold do more.
Yeah,
Because keep in mind,
but
King Cold was in second form.
yes, that's always the
King
big
Cold was in
rumor of
second
that,
form.
right? It's like, hey, he could have done that.
King
Uh,
Cold was second form.
I want to see third form King Gold.
Oh my god. I want to see
Xenomorph
third form
looking
Cooler.
third form cooler, yeah. Oh man, that element too from there.
That being
I know
said,
we're
I want to see fifth form Frieza.
it just look like cooler, wouldn't it?
I mean, Cooler looks different, so I want to see what Frieza's would look like.
Let's see what we got. Most underrated villains: Raditz, Cold, Deborah. Deborah.
Okay, okay, Gohan versus Deborah is one of my favorite fights in the Buu Saga.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
Gohan versus Deborah is one of my favorite fights in the Buu Saga. I wish they could have gone more like done more with it.
Yeah.
Raditz, I hate that he got jobbed so much, but he served his purpose.
Yeah, oh, he served his
But
purpose,
one of
all
my
right.
favorite things to see is like, what if Raditz turned good?
Yeah, that's always a conundrum. Wait a second, is he
Frieza
gonna
would look like
turn?
Krang because Cooler looks like Shredder.
Oh, you don't
And
remember
get your Saiyans characters.
Super? That's always the biggest question. Super Saiyan Raditz. Is it just Super Saiyan 3?
And Super Saiyan Nappa does his mustache. Just
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens
He
there?
he just grows a beard.
Vegeta, I'm a Super Saiyan. Fuck.
Yeah, no, that would be good there. Oof.
But yeah, there's just so much to love about Dragon Ball Z in particular. Dragon Ball has a lot going for it too. You can't
It does.
discredit the start. Um,
Good old regular Dragon Ball, and my favorite thing from that forever and always will be Jackie Chan. I was like, what?
Goku versus Jackie Chan was a fantastic fight.
And they
The
were
only
like,
reason Goku lost that fight was because he was too short to properly kick him in the face.
he was like, wait a second. You Master Roshi? Nah.
Like, if you didn't know that, like, just it's so funny. Like, it has the Superman Clark Kent. Like, how did you not know? Feel to it.
What did he super glue the wig to him or something? I can't remember.
I think it was.
Because Bulma tried to pull it off, and he was like, "No, it's real hair or something." I don't.
But
Oh man, it was good. Yamsa was afraid of girls. Oh man,
yeah,
what a weird time.
it just well, first off, Yamcha was relevant. That's a weird thing.
He was relevant. Tien was relevant. Krillin was somewhat relevant.
Krillin was definitely relevant during the Piccolo arc because it really set Goku off.
It did, and going back to that, how they kind of
Also, I
flipped
want to
the
preface
order.
here: this is me with stuff that I just know because I haven't seen original Dragon Ball in a long time.
Yeah, it's
I need to
like
go
me
back and
too.
rewatch it from start to finish because I haven't seen it in so long. But I remember everything that happens. Specifically,
There's
uh,
a couple of gaps that
yeah,
I have trouble
I
remembering,
don't remember
but
Goku meeting Kami and Popo.
yeah, because that was more towards the end of it.
That was towards the end of King Piccolo, and then
But the one thing that I remember vividly from that, because
Pilaf's Castle.
I'll be honest, I watched them out of order. I watched Z first, and then
Duh.
when Dragon Ball, I was like, oh wait, because they started airing Dragon Ball on Toonami, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then we watch it, and they get to that point in the King Piccolo, and Krillin is dead, and I was like, whoa, 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 did this happen? What was this? Um, but yeah, that was a pretty emotional one
You
there.
mentioned that hearing like in the Saiyan saga when Goku was getting ready to go fight Raditz with originally Krillin and Master Roshi
Yeah.
talking about how hold up guys, you've already died and you can't be wished back with the Dragon Balls. It's like wait, when they die?
Yeah, I was just talking about
Same
that
thing with
too.
Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu with Nappa. It's like they died, so we can't wish them back with the Dragon Balls. They're gone for good. What?
Yeah, that's crazy that that was the whole thing that prompted the Frieza saga is, hey, we have to go to another planet to get other Dragon Balls.
A planet full of Piccolos.
Yeah. Oh, what's he got? All right, hold on. What's Cap got here?
Writing
Writing.
aside because he didn't exist yet. What if Kami, due to his link with King? What do you mean Kami didn't exist yet?
Probably in the
Kami
story.
was originally spawned from King Piccolo.
Let's do his link with King.
Spawned a child to become guardian as Goku declined. Hmm. So if
But it's roughly the same synopsis, sort of, because they were the same, right? So essentially, Kami having the egg thing or whatever, that was weird when that happened, and then
yeah,
it was just more that King Piccolo had more of the power aspect.
Kami came from the wisdom side of it. Piccolo was the power
Yeah.
side.
But yeah, that would be an interesting. So it would have been a good Piccolo from the start, essentially.
But here's one thing about Piccolo spitting out the egg after Goku beat him. He didn't have a gut.
He's like,
He
"Ugh."
essentially didn't have like a torso because there was a huge hole in it.
He just did it. All
The
right.
egg just came out of his throat. Like whoa, whoa, whoa! Because he was only like he was whole from like chest up. So,
Yep.
so it's like wait, where's the okay anime logic? Don't question it.
No, you really don't question it. But there were so many things, and the more I think about from Dragon Ball, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing too. This guy comes through, gets the whisk, and he's like, I'll take my leave now, and then he kills the Eternal Dragon. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, like
Okay,
he's
correct me
like,
if I'm wrong. Piccolo, like King Piccolo, and one other villain, which we'll talk about later, are the only two villains in Dragon Ball to fully succeed in what they wanted to do.
yes. Well,
Technically, Kid Buu did too because he did destroy the planet and all the inhabitants, most of them, except for Hercule and.
are you talking about
Andrew.
just in general or like with the wishes? Because there's three technically, or no, four.
No,
Hell,
no, 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 no.
they
Where the story progresses that the villain has won.
uh,
He set out what he wanted to do, and there's a time lapse where the villain is in control. For example, King Piccolo that practically takes over the world, and he's ruling the world.
Well, it depends on what the definition is, because
He had a goal and he accomplished it, and Goku could not beat it. They
it's
could
really
not
tough
be
to say
stopped.
there.
Because I'm going to go ahead and
Because
spoil this right now. I'm going to go ahead and drop this bomb right now. I'm going to go ahead and start this right now.
what are you going to start? What's
GT's not as bad as everyone says it is.
no?
And
I
one of
thought
my
you were starting.
we'll talk more about that later. But one of my reasons for saying that is the Baby Saga is one of my favorite sagas in Dragon Ball. Because it's one of the few times, like King Piccolo, where the villain wins.
Yeah,
He
you won
gets
there.
what he wanted. He defeats Goku. And he spends an entire year in charge of the entire planet.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
nobody to stop him.
Yeah. Well, Cap, all of that leads into the baby arc, so it's I can overlook it.
Yeah, but again, like we'll talk more about GT in a little bit. But I wanted to bring that up to make the comparison to King Piccolo. King Piccolo did the same thing.
He got what he wanted.
As far as I can tell, King Piccolo and Baby are the only two Dragon Ball villains to fully accomplish what they wanted to do and be able to enjoy their victory.
Cell got what he wanted to. I mean, he did get perfection.
He got perfection, but he didn't win.
For a week.
Yeah, for a week, for 7 days.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
I'm
trying to think.
I don't fully count that because he also wanted to completely destroy the planet.
Yeah,
he wanted to prove that he was the best fighter in the galaxy, and that proved to not be the case in the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, and I know it's too early for this.
Okay,
but
he did beat Goku technically because Goku did give up, but at the same time,
I
wonder how full out Goku was going. Because he was going through those Cell games the entire time, strictly to build up Gohan. So I wonder how much.
I remember this show differently. He said he was going all out.
But I wonder if he truly was.
Oh, he was. He wasn't holding back. And this is going to jump ahead by just a tad on that. The only tidbit, and I know you probably think this too, that really tripped me up with that was right after that happened in the Otherworld tournament, and he was like, Super Saiyan Kaioken. I was like, what the? I was like, why didn't you do that?
My problem with that is the fact that it was only anime filler. That wasn't in the manga. Which sucks
I know,
but that's one of my favorite tournaments. That's one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball Z. Goku versus Pikkon is an amazing fight. The introduction to Super Saiyan, Super Kaioken, was amazing, and we got it once. I don't count Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken.
I was to say they actually made that canon.
I don't count Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken.
That's what it is, though. Why don't you count it?
Because it's super.
No, but that portion there, that was something that just.
And also the introduction of Pally Bear. What? As a character.
What are you talking about? He was the narrator forever.
He wasn't the character. He was only the narrator.
Yeah. He probably did some others. I'm trying to think of anything he did do back then.
He was probably.
But I don't know.
He did Future Gohan. Oh wait.
Oh man, look, I hate to say this, but I look at those almost as two separate things, honestly.
Like the new iteration of Future Gohan compared to the original?
What? No, not that. Just like those characters in general, because you got to think, much like Trunks, they lived completely different lives. So I see them.
And Gohan are night and day, like polar opposites.
Oh yeah, he's trained, fight, and Gohan's like, I'm gonna eat ice cream or whatever. I'm like, come on,
I'm gonna go
man.
study Super Saiyans.
Oh god, I forgot about that already. But no, I see us polar opposites there, and was going back to that dynamic, the ooh that that's a tough one. I don't. I
By the way,
think
hold on.
what's up?
Guess he's been disarmed. I get it. Shut the hell up, Nappa. Anyway, go ahead.
Damn it, Nappa.
Sorry, I had
But
to.
no, you're good. That's a good one. But um, as far as transformations, I think the Trunks one is
The emotion.
ooh,
The
it's
emotion.
probably right there at the top for me, almost. I'd have to think. Maybe there's another one, but that original transformation,
Now, are we talking about in second place after Goku goes Super Saiyan, or just in general?
just in general, as far as like that emotional thing, the Super Saiyan ones. Oh yeah, it Cap. It's such a good one. And
I love how dark it is.
yeah, it was dark. It was
Like,
gritty.
like it's. I guess
The
I
villains
guess you could.
won.
I was just about to say. I guess you could count that as another bit. Well, both of those really, because Frieza destroyed the Saiyans and Bardock.
Yeah, that's true too.
You could
Well, if you're
technically
looking
count.
at it
You
from,
can count both of those as that too.
I can see the future.
I can see the future.
I forgot about that being a plot point for that, but no, that was like that emotional of it, and I've went back and watched like the side by sides because I'm that person, and the super one, don't even touch it. Like it, I don't even know why they bothered reanimating that.
I
Just
wonder why.
useless ass psychic powers. Oh, that's the best. But no, that was the history of Trunks for that transformation, and I don't know. I remember I showed it to my sister one time. She watches some of the stuff,
Battle
and
of
she's
not
like,
Battle Gods. The History of Trunks.
"Well, yeah," because I was like, "Here, you need to watch this," and she's like, "What is this?" And I was like,
Hey, you
"It's the
want to feel?
history of Trunks."
Hey, you want to feel emotion? Why? Watch this.
Dude, I'm man enough to say that the opening of that movie or special makes me cry every time. It
when that
literally kicks
actually,
off with Goku dying. Like, you're like,
yeah,
wait a second.
and not and like dying a death that you cannot wish him back from. I loved that element,
I was like, oh, okay. And then,
but
everything else happens there. I always wanted to see more of that fight specifically
what that final
because,
fight
well, no,
or
the initial
the
fight,
fight where everyone loses.
well, yeah, the losing one, because I've always wondered because of the wording used that was when Gohan transformed. So he would have been a kid still, and I would have been curious to see what that even looked like. Like he would have been all alone, angry, all of that. So
Can we get a prequel to History of Trunks?
a prequel to also the fight in the OG. Yes, Cap, Goku versus Cold and Frieza. Yes, that was
Oh
something that
yeah,
happened.
yeah. Oh my god, that would have been so cool.
It happened somewhere.
I guarantee you that might be when Frieza. I mean Frieza. That might have been when Vegeta
And
originally went
because
Super Saiyan.
maybe that's tough to
During their
say.
fight,
That could be
having to
something.
fight two Friezas essentially.
Yeah. But I've also heard from like just random mumblings of things that,
Through the grapevine.
well, yeah, because we'll never know what actually happened. But they said Goku was more serious in that fight and just like,
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, I touched.
That being said, Goku versus Frieza, when Goku went Super Saiyan, Frieza never stood a chance.
No, he didn't.
Even when
It's-
Frieza went 100%, he never stood a chance against Goku. It was just
didn't,
Goku.
and it's
What?
um It's funny you bring that up because the anime had to dilute it just a little bit, or in the manga, he was no chance at all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I'd like to argue something. Come at me,
I
bro. But while you're
what
bringing
you
that up, since we're in the topic of Frieza, I want to bring up the joke I was talking about. So, so during the Frieza's fight, Frieza gets pissed,
Yep,
goes to destroy the planet. He destroys the core of Namek,
yep.
and the whole thing there is the planet will explode
Oh
in
no.
5 minutes. The planet will explode in 5 minutes. One, I like how Team Four Star touched up on that, but we'll talk about that later. At the convention that me and Dakota met at, the people running the stuff, um, close to the end of each panel, they would walk in with big billboards, like poster boards, saying 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left.
Yes.
And so that was no different from this panel. Keep in mind, we are in a Dragon Ball panel
At an anime convention.
in a room full of people who love Dragon Ball, who know Dragon Ball. Because we were getting good questions there. We were getting good conversations there. She comes in with the thing that says 5 minutes left. I read the board. 5 minutes left. And I make the statement, and on that day, the biggest lie in anime history was told. The room
Yes.
the room was quiet. We looked at the faces. Everyone was like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" I'm sitting there going, "Really, guys? Think about it. 5 minutes. Biggest
Oh,
lie in
somebody
anime
finally
history."
got it.
Yeah, somebody in the back. Oh, I get it.
Oh,
It's
I get
because
it.
of Frieza. The entire room goes, "Oh."
Oh. God, I'll never forget
I'm
that.
like,
That was great.
I don't.
Yeah.
What the hell, guys? And everyone was just laughing and like, "Sorry, we weren't thinking."
Yeah,
Whatever.
they really weren't thinking there.
If Frieza was fresh at 100%, I think his power would have been equal or more.
No.
No,
Just no.
because you have to think how much was Frieza holding. Okay, hold on. We all know that Frieza was holding back because he went 100% after Goku went Super Saiyan. But even holding back, he was toying with Goku the entire time.
Oh yeah,
Like
he was.
he was never serious with Goku until Goku went Super Saiyan. Even 100% before if they were both fresh Super Saiyan, honestly, I think it could have been a decent fight, but Goku would have still been in control the entire time. I don't think Frieza would have been able to touch him.
Yeah. Maybe his leftover power, though. Okay, so I get that he was wore down, but like,
You have to look at how much of an upper hand Goku had the entire time. Once he went
yeah,
Super Saiyan, even with
like
the leftover, like battle worn, Goku was still
oh, he's kicking his ass.
like
Like
left
no,
and right.
no ifs,
Frieza
ands, or that.
never truly felt like he could do anything. Even
Yeah.
like
There was a reason he blew up the core of the planet. He was
which
like,
happened before he went full power, I think.
yeah, it did. Definitely.
Which, by the way, goes back into the biggest line in anime history. Blows up the core. 5 minutes left. How long does it take to power up? Usually,
Well, see, that's the other thing too, right?
does time
Because
work differently in Dragon Ball in general?
it's just because they're moving so fast. I think is the technical thing for
I
it.
also think it's because of how Team Four Star addressed it.
Oh
Question: You ever watch?
Do you know? Do you own a watch? No.
No. Do you know what 5
But-
minutes is? Yes.
Hey.
I don't think you do.
I know, I love that. But back to Cap's point here, the reason I will say no to that argument is because Goku literally sit there and said, "Hey, get to 100%. I don't care."
And even
Like,
then, he was always in control.
yeah, he said,
So
"I
I
don't
think
care.
I
Get to it."
think if they were both fresh, 100% Super Saiyan, started the fight, I don't think it would have been much different.
There is, and speaking of this, I know we've been jumping around. There's one more fight where this happens. However, it's in comparison
When you
to
say this, what this are you talking about?
where the manga contrast from the anime makes it look like the fight was much closer than it was.
Okay.
And in this case, well, no, no, no. It was the anime too. So both times this has happened that I can remember, the anime made it look closer than it was, and then the manga was not as close. This fight, one being Frieza and Goku, the other one being Gohan versus Buhan or Butenks.
I had a feeling that's where you were going with that because
That fight was, it looked a lot closer in the anime, but it was actually not that close at all.
no, because yeah, yeah, like the initial, like when they first started going at it, it seemed a little bit closer,
And
and
there were
then Boo was
so many,
like, okay, I'll get serious now.
yeah, there were so many elements of that fight that from even the dub perspective, or I don't know how it was in the manga or, the dub. What I know is that things that got lost on me back then because I didn't understand the comprehension of it. But you go back and watch it now, and like he is playing big mind games with Gohan
Oh yeah,
with
oh yeah,
Piccolo. I was
oh yeah,
like, oh, that makes sense now. I was
oh
like, what are
yeah.
you
That
talking
I caught up.
about?
I caught on to that. Like even back when it was first coming out when I first saw it. Didn't the manga do Super Saiyan Vegito versus Buhan, and the anime took the liberty of saying, "Yeah, I can beat you in my base form."
Yeah, so
I mean,
gosh, I sound like
to be
that guy,
to be
but
fair, Vegito was tanking Buhan the entire time. Buhan
he
stood no
was.
chance against. Okay,
Yeah, and
hold on.
the anime.
Before we go here, let's have this little discussion. Which Boo was
Uh-oh.
strongest?
Which Boo was strongest?
Buhan.
Buhan.
Buhan. The only reason Kid Buu was more of a threat was because he didn't care.
Yeah, he was more
He
maniacal.
had no like remorse. He had no okay, we're just gonna okay, no. Kid Buu was just chaos.
Yeah,
But
because
he
people
was
forget it. All in all, like you had up the the powered up Gohan. He had Piccolo. He had Goten. He had Trunks, and he had original Boo.
yeah.
Like he had them all in there. So that was always a
Which
weird twist.
you bringing up that fight. I
Which
on one hand I like the concept of fusion, but on the other hand, when you really think about it, that concept didn't really do a whole lot.
but just fusion in general, or
It, unless you count Buell from Budokai 2 because he became the perfect soldier. Listen, I'm gonna die on this hill. I don't give a shit who says what. Budokai 2 is better than Budokai 3.
there are definitely elements of that I love. But
Budokai 3 has Broly, Cooler, Omega Shenron, and Bardock.
it does.
But it also has Dragon Rush, which is
Yeah,
the
Budokai
bane
too.
of that game's existence.
Yeah, it was really good though. But while you're talking about the fusion, I always
Because
and
it gave us Gotenks, it gave us Vegito, and then in the
it
movies, it gave
did.
us Gogeta.
Yeah,
But
so it did give
when you
Gogeta.
look
Yep.
at the fusion, what it did to the story, it didn't feel like it did a lot for the overall arc.
Well,
It gave us
yes
cool
and
fights. It
no.
gave us cool fights. It gave us Gotenks versus Super Boo, which to me feels like it's an underrated fight because
Well, yes and
no
no,
one talks about
because
that fight.
but Vegito, in point like from the kid saving the planet again. The reason I enjoy that one so much more, the first one, not the other ones, is just because the convincing that he had to do to get Vegeta to do it, and
I
then the
will agree. I will agree.
circumstances, they were gonna die if they
I
didn't
will
do that.
agree.
Like,
That was cool. Like that's good. And getting Vegeta. First off, can we just say that Vegeta has the best character development from Saiyan to Buu?
oh yeah,
Piccolo has a similar one, but none of them hit as hard as Vegeta's character development.
oh, yeah, he gets a real good development. People overlook that sometimes. I'm like, man, he was good.
There's a
Like,
reason he's a lot of people's favorite character.
yeah, but no, like that element of it, like he had to do all that, and
I
they
will agree about that.
bantered.
I will agree about that. But
Whereas opposed to like, you know, there were different circumstances going on for the other one, right?
yeah,
Because as a viewer, when they're like, oh, well, Goten and Trunks will fuse and all that, that's going on. But as a viewer, you have the backdrop of, oh, well, Gohan's still over here. We
yeah,
know what Gohan can do, and then
which just Z's
it's,
handling of Gohan and Boo will always disappoint me because
it's always-
he gets this beast power up, and then he comes in and he tanks Boo in probably one of my favorite episodes.
oh
The episode
man,
when he comes back and he's wearing Goku's gi, which looks awesome on him,
yep,
and he
that's
just
a good one.
tanks Boo. And then
Yeah,
two
oh,
episodes later, he's getting jobbed.
but that goes back to something we talked about earlier when we had the old edited versus uncut.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Fight you. I'm gonna.
So, hot shots, you want to fight Majin? Fight you? No, I want to kill you. Like,
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was a thing until I got to watch the uncut, and I was
same,
like,
same.
oh, I was
Because
like, that's
even
much.
the edited version was badass. Fight you? No, I'm here to destroy you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they didn't
no,
even just try. Like they didn't even try. It's like, no, I'm going to destroy you, which feels worse.
and the biggest injustice to that whole thing
Kill
was,
implies you're just going to take away their life. Destroy means you're going to take away their existence.
well, that too. But I'll tell you one of the biggest injustices of that entrance, and I, I guess one of the few times that they made Piccolo look like a doofus when he was like, "What? It's Goku." I'm like, "Bro, you're the closest to Gohan. You should have known that from
Come
like."
on, Piccolo, you're his dad. You know what your son looks like.
He was like, "I can't believe it. It's Goku." No, it wasn't Goku, but yeah, he put on his dad's
Speaking of
clothes. It was
downgrading, though,
also.
speaking of downgrading,
Oh, what's up?
Piccolo and the Boo arc.
He had some moments, but not.
He was the mentor.
Yeah, he was playing a different role then. That was the biggest thing there.
I will kind of agree with Cap about Videl because Videl is my Dragon Ball waifu. I will not. I will not.
But Videl is much more, cool with it than Chi Chi was.
Yeah,
So, like, if
yeah.
Gohan wanted to fight or like, she don't care.
She don't care. She don't care.
They got that Hercule Satan money. They're good.
Yeah, they're set. Which, by the way, Bulma. Speaking of money, if you are as close with these people as you make us believe you are, how are you not sharing some of that wealth with your friends, helping them out in some way?
Right?
You know how Goku and Chi-Chi are. Well, Goku in particular. You know how Goku is. He was dead for 7 years.
What is Goku's real age?
You're telling me that, like, for 7 years, Chi-Chi worked? She made Gohan go get a job? How did they not lose their house in those 7 years from the time that from the end of Cell to the start of Boo?
They never really said much about that, but I always assumed it was either Bulma helping out or Ox King. You know, he is a
Ox,
king.
that Ox King. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
He was a king.
By the way, that's
Yeah.
Kyle Bear. That's Kyle
That's
Bear.
Kyle. Yep, that was Kyle. Yep, I forget about that. His other staple character from that show.
But we talked about the show a lot, and before we dive into the juice of this conversation,
You think King Piccolo revives? I mean, maybe
oh god,
that was actually a thing in Supersonic Warriors, I think.
I think it was.
And then Bulma not how to sense. Well, yeah, Bulma's not gonna know how to sense people's energy.
Yeah, she's never dealt with. She hangs out with them doesn't mean she can take on their abilities.
I don't know. This is interesting.
But we kind of touched on the movies a little bit, but we didn't really talk about like the bulk of them. You had Lord
Yeah,
Slug. You had Cooler twice. You had Super 13. You had Broly 3 times. You had Bojack in his team. You had
yep.
Janemba.
Bojack.
You had Hirudegarn. Which,
Yeah.
granted, I'll admit some of those movies are hit or miss, especially with the animation, because Jesus Christ.
I didn't mind Wrath of the Dragon.
No,
It
no,
was
no. Like
okay.
Wrath of the Dragon, like some of the best animation in Dragon Ball. But a
It's the
boring
one
story.
yeah, it's the one I remember the least. I just remember. Correct me
Goku.
if I'm wrong. Not that part, but there was a scene where because remember it was split into halves, and Gohan was literally fighting a pair of legs.
Yeah. And
I was like,
by the way, my favorite outfit design for Gohan is the Great Saiyaman outfit without the cape and the headpiece. It's just the green piece, the belt, the white gloves, the white boots, and the black underpiece.
so the Deborah fight,
Yeah,
Gohan. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. I think that's what you were describing.
that's exactly what I was
Wrath of the
describing.
Dragon had Dragon Fist. It did have Dragon
It did
Fist.
have Dragon Fist and the kill steal of the century. Because
Oh yeah.
Goku comes literally out of effing nowhere when Trunks is about to slice the dude in half with apparently the only sword that can kill him, and says, "Hey
I
Trunks,
forgot.
this guy's mine." Just randomly, like, "Oh, hey Goku, what? Oh, you're going? Okay, okay."
Yeah, no, I did have so many questions from that when I was younger. I was like, but sword, so future Trump, what? I was trying to piece it all
Yeah,
together in my head. I was like, wait a second.
just keep in mind that most of these movies are not canon.
Oh yeah. I always loved to go back and be like, when did this happen? When
When
could
could
this
this
have
have
happened?
happened? Like you look
And the
at,
only
there's
the
only
one
two
mm,
that I could think of that you
it,
can easily place in timeline, and that's Broly and Wrath of the Dragon.
placing Broly in the timeline though raises a lot of
It
questions.
does, but the timeline that it takes place in, like the time it takes place in the timeline, it's the easiest to place because it takes place. You can say it takes place during the 7 days between, like before the Cell games.
BoJack too. Yes,
Bojack,
that is.
yeah,
You
three,
could
three, three. Well done.
definitely know when that takes place.
But the others, like Lord Slug's, just kind of there. Actually,
Yeah, it's very,
actually, hold
very,
on,
very
hold on,
hard to
hold on.
place that.
No, wait, because Goku doesn't go Super Saiyan in Lord Slug. He just goes false Super Saiyan.
Oh, that's one of my favorite transformations.
But Cooler,
Cooler's easier because you could
you could theoretically
throw.
say it takes place like it's their break before.
Well, I take that back. Cooler would have to be in the well, and this is just really, really giving a stretch. It would have to be in between the jump from
Trunks to Android.
um, yeah, but it would have to be in the original timeline, which also wouldn't make sense.
Well, that's the thing. That's the fan theory that I keep seeing a lot of. These movies take place in like the alternate timeline. Like,
Yeah, I forgot about Return of Cooler. Yeah,
okay,
that
Return of Cooler makes no sense because
the
then they
big Getty star.
Dende's there. Dende is
Oh, yeah.
on Earth with Popo.
There's
Dende
only
is the
one
reason.
time.
There is only, like, he's the reason they go to New Namek to stop Cooler.
Yeah.
It's
And guess
because,
what? There's only one time that could have taken place, and
and
that would
that's
have
in the
made
7 days before the Cell games.
which also would have been the Broly placement you could
Which,
do.
where's Trunks? Why is Gohan
Yeah.
still got his long hair? Why is, well, no, that's not a fair question.
Yeah, none of that makes
No,
sense.
no,
No, that
no,
that would
no.
make
It
sense.
would make sense because Gohan had his haircut in the hyperbolic time chamber, which was before Cell said, "Let's have a game."
Yeah, but Dende wasn't there then, was he?
He was there during the Cell games. No,
No, he didn't get there till
he got there halfway
after.
during the break because Cell destroyed
Ooh,
a
did
lot
he
of people, and they realized we need Dragon Balls, we need a Guardian, and Goku goes to Namek to get a Guardian. Gets
Then
injured.
no, it was after
It was
it was
after.
after they came out.
Yeah, it was after they came out. So Dende
Yeah, so
could.
you couldn't fit that.
Yeah.
So that'd be tough to fit in there. And then
So
the
the
others,
best
yeah,
thing, the thing I learned about these movies is they're alternate timelines. Just go with it. They're non-canon.
yeah.
They're fun.
Don't even talk about Fusion Reborn. Good luck
Fusion
fitting
Reborn
that
and
in
Bio
somewhere.
Which, by the way, I will die on this hill. Bio Broly is better than Second Coming.
No. No.
I will listen. Bio Broly. Okay, hold on. First up, Broly Second Coming. Bardock and Trunks are canon fighting. Oh, they are 100%. Even though there's some continuity errors between History of Trunks and what comes later on, because I believe
Wait.
History of Trunks came before.
Oh, you're talking about the specials. I was like, no, those characters are canon. You're talking, or you're talking about the
He's talking about the
specials.
specials. Was Trunks came? The Trunks special came before everything we knew, like in the Android and the Cell sagas, about Trunks' time in the past.
Yeah, I don't remember when that came out exactly.
Well, when you look at the box set for the Trunks saga, it's Trunks 1 and 2, and then the History of Trunks. It's included in the Trunks saga box
Yeah,
set.
so it's been there because it's kind of the interlude of like, hey, this is his timeline.
Yeah.
That's why they're called special. Yes, they are very special sets. The Bardock one, always
It's
good.
100%. Now, hold on. Specifically, Bardock, the father of Goku. Not the
Yeah.
Bardock special.
And it was always, what other movie had that in it? Oh, it was the first Cooler movie, and I was like,
Wait, which what?
were they it pivoted off of that, and I was like, wait a second, what is this? Because it showed the thing going on. Because I always remember it because hands down one of my favorite openings is they use they use Drowning Pool for the opening of Cooler, and
Yeah.
because he's got Bardock, and then he just blows it up, freezes laughing, and then it pans over, and it's like,
He's
oh yeah,
to us.
hmm
Again, I missed that era of Funimation soundtracking for the movies.
oh, it would have been that was great. They had a good little hot streak there. Now, speaking of,
Hold on, we're not getting to him just yet.
I
know
don't know
where
where
you're
you
going.
thought I was. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this or not,
A
but
certain
okay.
hulking Saiyan.
No, actually, no.
Okay.
I was going
'Cause I wanna build
for
up to that
the. Yeah, I don't know. I was going for the most recent pertinent theory that we saw the other day. Because it's in the movie path, right? Android 13, younger
Oh
Jiro.
yes.
I think I buy into that 100%
1000%,
now.
1000%. I don't think that's a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler, so we can talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's
So
it's
in the
just
Dragon
a
Balls,
theory.
yeah, no, it's well, they also wasn't that also the picture in the movie
I wouldn't
when
like.
it had Jiro and Redacted,
He had blue skin.
young Jiro had blue skin. Only when
He
he got
did.
angry. Only when he went angry.
Yeah.
I'm Android 13. Look at my trucker hat.
Gosh. I can't believe $40 haircut was an actual dub line.
Red ribbon redneck.
I, you would think those were abridged things, but
We
no,
wield
they were
pitiful humans,
actual
love,
lines.
segregation, hatred. Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Goku dies. We'll see you,
Oh,
red
that was
ribbon
right.
redneck.
There was actual lines. That
I
was
love that
good.
so much.
I need to go back and watch that. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
But
Because I remember tripping out and I was like, wait a second, because it was like
I,
Super Saiyan, Spirit Bomb, absorb the spirit. Oh, whoa, what?
that was. Plus, the animation in Return of Cooler and Super 13 were just.
You almost said Super 17.
I did. I did. I mean, do you blame me? They're both androids. They're both
That's
super.
good. Yeah,
But
that's true. And the
but do you
concept of. Hmm?
but do you remember the build up to him before that movie came out?
Oh, yeah.
The
Absolutely.
hype surrounding Broly before we finally got the dub.
He's a legend.
I remember the website is called DragonBall-GT.com. Is the website I
Mhm.
went to. It's where I got a lot of my Dragon Ball pictures.
Oh, I remember going to those. Hell, we were probably on the same forums back then.
DBZGTLegacy.com. Do you remember that one?
Not other that, and because I remember going to the actual the Dragon Ball website trying to get that,
DragonBallZ.com.
and then
You click every single episode, and they had like 4 pictures from the episode.
they did, and there was always was it? I probably had one of the VHSs, but it was like tick tock. It was like kiss the old Dragon Ball site goodbye,
Yeah, I
and
remember
all.
that. I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that. But it was one of the first times I actually read some of the manga because they were editing and like not editing, but they were like dubbing the manga, the color version
Yep.
of the Broly movie. And so like every week they released like 5 to 10 pages. And
Man,
that's how I followed the movie.
I could go back and
And
watch.
just the hype surrounding Broly. And then the movie
Yeah.
finally came out.
It's literally the legendary Super Saiyan.
And the picture I remember the most. There's three. There's the iconic Goku with his hand in Broly's stomach shot.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
There's the picture of Broly holding Goku up by his head.
That's a good one too.
And the one that stuck out to me the most about Broly as a kid was the point blank shot of the Kamehameha and Broly just standing there.
Oh, I remember watching that the first time. He's like, yeah, that's hot. He's like, what was that supposed to be? I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And then the movie comes out and it's
It was
kind of just okay.
Cap. You're breaking my heart. You two are both breaking my heart.
Okay, here's the thing about Second Coming, and I don't want to ignore the movie that came out in between those two. But Second Coming is boring. It is a boring movie. The fight is boring. They do nothing with it. And the big finale is Goten thinking, "I wish Dad were here." And then Goku comes down and helps with the trio Kamehameha.
Yeah, Goku showed up. Come on, man.
That was always just weird to me, and it felt like a cop out. And at least Bio Broly focused on different characters as the protags.
Wow, Broly. Oh man, it was just all over the place. That was the one
But at least
time.
it was funny.
I just don't have a good memory of it. Just because, like,
It was at least funny.
when it came out, I went on a school night to get it, and I was like,
And it makes more sense than the story they have for Second Coming. At this point, how the fuck does Videl know about the Dragon Balls?
He just knows,
She's going
man.
on. She's going on a hunt with Goten and Trunks to find Dragon Balls. It's like, okay, why? Just cause.
Depends on when you put it into the timeline for
That
that.
being said, that explanation's better than what they did with Bulma in the new movie.
Oh, yeah, that's fair too.
But at
You
least.
you're forgetting a movie there though, Bob.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm not there. I'm not done yet. Um, at least Bio Broly, I loved seeing Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and 18 team together.
No, I thought you were gonna say the ending part where Trunks just does a Kamehameha wave for
No,
no
that was weird.
reason.
That was weird.
I
That
was
was weird.
like,
That
what
was
are you
weird.
doing?
That was weird. That was weird.
Vegeta would have been like, bad.
How the fuck dare you do a Kamehameha? No son of mine.
Oh, he would have got him right there. He just said no.
But at least the movie had that unique aspect to it.
Yeah, I did have
I'm
some
not
really good
saying Bio
unique.
Broly himself is cool because that whole concept was stupid.
Oh yeah, the
How he was
chipped
a sludge
blood.
monster. He was basically fighting Hedorah. Whatever. And then he became one with the mountain. That was weird.
He became one with the mountain. Vegeta can
I will die.
canonically
I
use
will
the...
still. I will say this flat out. BoJack is my favorite movie.
Yes, BoJack is a good one. It's really good. It has some great elements.
Visually, it is just.
Like I forgot about that
Can use
movie.
the Garlica, Gallica.
Oh,
God.
I was just thinking about Garlic Jr. I forgot about
Yeah,
that even being a thing.
like BoJack, and then they kind of retconned BoJack into Super now, apparently.
Sort of,
I
yeah, I
guess, kind of,
guess.
sorta, which I hate, but whatever. I loved the BoJack movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's one of my favorites of that era too,
the
just
The
because it
little
was kind of...
exchange with Trunks and Tien was awesome.
And it makes well, yeah, that too, but you know what else? We both like that movie. You know what else it has in common with the most recent one? Not a lot of Goku. So maybe that's why we like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
He's
I hold on. I can't say that because I liked Goku and Z.
Yeah, but he was
I like
barely in that movie.
yeah.
So,
Granted, his use in that movie was a bit what
yeah.
when he randomly came down and punched BoJack. It was like, wait, huh?
Okay, you can't go. You're dead.
But I loved it. I thought it was really cool, and that movie is my favorite Trunks design
Oh, yes, a
with the
hundred
sleeveless
percent.
jacket. It looks so cool. And when he went Super Saiyan in the movie against what's his name, Kogu,
Kogu, something like that.
when he
Because
went
he was
Super
like,
Saiyan, blocked the sword with his arm, shattered it, and then just bam, fist
"Yep,
like
Cap. That's the other one from that
yeah,
movie."
that was really like that was cool.
There's the sword. It's like, "Father, you're here."
Leave it to me.
Yeah, Vegeta, buddy, didn't work out too well.
But um,
That was good.
Fusion Reborn.
Actually, like
What? Go ahead.
I would say, actually like that Super Saiyan 2 transformation too.
Oh yeah,
Just the use of it. It was
the use of it after the fact, but the transformation itself.
well, just that. It was like the polar. Not that you were talking about Cell being talk, talk, talk. Well, guess what? This was not talk, talk, talk. It was like, now you die, boy.
And the fact that the team worked so well together against Gohan and Piccolo, and well, not so much Piccolo. Piccolo was only against Bardock. I mean BoJack. Same with Vegeta. I think Trunks had some against Bujin and Beto.
Yeah, just a little bit. And that was good there. And then the little thread things.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing.
Bojack's transformation was weak. Yeah,
It
well, you get
was,
a
but it just I still loved it.
Green's so scared.
Hey, he hulked out, bro. He hulked out, bro.
I mean, you get a hole punch through you and transform. See what happens to you.
But just, I really liked BoJack. But one of my favorite
Oh,
movie fights is still Goku versus Janemba.
really?
I thought it was like the choreography.
He was a bumbling
No,
fool,
no, no, no,
Janemba.
no, 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 no. The transform state when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3.
Oh, I was like, you're talking about the big
No,
Janemba? That fight? What? Yeah, but that fight was very one-sided, though.
it was, but like the choreography between those two before they started using their powers and it was just physical.
Yeah, it was
I thought
Super
it was really
Saiyan.
cool. And
That's
Janemba
good
is one of
there.
those enemies that I feel like if they gave him more of a personality and less like the chaotic "I'm going to kill everything" thing, it would have been a cool enemy type to see like in canon.
Yep.
But
So I remember from that movie is the yelling at the barrier to break it. Stupid barrier.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just
And
yelling
then
at it.
Gohan one offing Frieza.
Oh, I forgot that even happened in that. That was so good. It's like, oh, a mere mortal knows my name. Like, yeah, we fought
Oh
on
no!
Namek.
Oh no! You're
Wait,
not
what?
Goku's son. The hell
It was
barrier is
like,
Megetta confirmed.
hey, that makes sense now. That
Yeah,
was,
I guess. But and then we already talked about um Rat of the Dragon. Before we go into the next movie, let's talk about like the Z for a second again. The show. Some of your favorite fights
ooh.
from Saiyan Saga to Buu Saga.
Well, Sand Saga. Oh, that's
Also, I'm
tough. I
dropping this right
mean,
now. Goku never beat Vegeta.
oh, well, you know I agree with that. And
Goku never beat Vegeta. I
yeah,
don't know why Toei is doing like going on this spill about Vegeta wants to beat Goku. He's beaten Goku 3 times.
Nappa's best day ever against the
This
battleships.
is the
Yeah, that was
best day ever.
best fight it is. No, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Pick like I
Goku
want
versus
to
Majin
go.
Vegeta.
Well, not. Well, hell, we're in the Sand Saga, son. I was talking about
We're
like.
talking. Oh, we're going to the. We're starting from the back. Okay.
Well, that's what you said. I thought no,
No, no, no,
like
no,
I
no, no.
want to go
I'm just talking about.
Goku
We're
and
talking about.
Vegeta, but like that's so like that's the obvious answer. But
I
um,
like the Goku and Raditz. Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz. I thought that was neat.
honestly, if we're going that route, I would probably venture to say not that Goku and Vegeta probably wasn't the best fight for that. I would have to say everyone versus Nappa, just because there were so many elements going on
Yeah,
there,
that was fun.
and you had TN going like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yamcha versus Cyberman. What fight? What fight?
Yamcha arrived. He blew up. He died.
Yep. That's like saying Chaozu versus Nappa is your favorite fight.
Hey, Vegeta, it's a Pokemon.
And then you get into the more the nuanced stuff with like Namek, Frieza. Like there are so many to pick from in that whole thing.
Piccolo versus Frieza was a fun one.
That was a good one. Even going back further, like it wasn't much of a fight, but you know, Ginyu versus Goku was cool just because he was
Well, when you look
going.
when you look at all the fights that took place on Namek, a lot of them were one-sided.
Yep, Goku versus Birder, Jace, that was a good one. Vegeta and the boys versus Raccoon, that was a
That was cool
there.
too. But again, still pretty one-sided.
It was one-sided. Back when power levels mattered, 180,000.
My power level is 1 million, and that's when it
Yeah,
just went to shit.
yeah, they finally hit that mark. I'm trying to think. There were some good ones there.
There wasn't a lot.
Vegeta versus Zarbon, one and two. Like,
Okay,
One was
2 wasn't really a
completely.
fight. I'm gonna blow my load on you.
Nappa said,
Sucks.
"What the?"
No, no. Imperfect Cell versus Piccolo. Yeah, that
we,
was a good one too. Piccolo had a
yeah.
lot of good moments in Cell Saga.
Oh, if we're going there, it's Piccolo versus 17. Anyone not agree with that?
Trunks versus Cell was fun to watch, even though you knew Cell was toying with him.
Was I always remember that because I was like, oh, he was stronger than him, or so they said. But
18
18
versus
versus
Vegeta.
break your arm. Thank you, Bella. I need another drink of my 7 Up.
Yeah, you can set
um,
it right now. I'll do water. It's fine.
Vegeta versus Semi Perfect Cell. Oh, yes, absolutely. I still think that the biggest travesty uh, from that era is that form was supposed to get way more time than it got, and it didn't. Because they had to rush and get to the final form.
Because
But
yeah, I would have liked to have seen Goku fight Semi Perfect Cell. I would have liked
it
to have seen
wouldn't.
Goku have to fight off Semi Perfect Cell, trying to
Oh, he would
save
have.
Tien and Piccolo.
Oh, he would have got his ass kicked.
He
He
would
even
have,
said
but
that.
he would have. I think it would have been interesting to see.
Maybe, but I'm kind of glad it didn't happen from the aspect
Oh,
of
I know. Oh yeah, yeah,
it. Not that it wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme, but they didn't fight there, so it really didn't have the heart, the tempered expectation of like, oh, the legendary Goku, and all you gotta say is see you tomorrow. Like they didn't fight there, so I mean, like obviously he was stronger than him,
yeah,
but Cell may probably knew that. I would have ventured to guess until Vegeta showed up, and they're like, whoa, wait a second.
yeah. I just think
But
it.
yeah,
I just think it would have been interesting seeing Goku interact more with Cell before Perfect Cell.
yeah, we're not talking about, or Gohan having nightmares of Perfect Cell
And
and
he has
never
no idea
even
what he looks
seeing
like.
him. Like, wait a second.
But I will still say that Goku versus Cell is probably one of my favorites.
16 versus Cell. That was a good fight too.
Yeah,
16 versus Cell was weird just because there were some elements in it, and he's like, I can gonna fire my rocket arm at you.
I'm gonna punch you from here. What?
Yeah, that was that. You're made out of metal.
What are you
He's
made
like,
of
I'm
metal?
just going.
Affirmative.
He's like, I'm just going to absorb you. Nope, he didn't.
And
That
and
was
then
good.
and then after that we go into the other world tournament, which Goku versus Spicon, no contest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always thought Goku
Goku
versus
versus
the
Aqua.
yeah, the water guy. That was weird.
That I thought that was, and then Pycon versus Ulibu.
That was good too. That fight was more like it wasn't. It was power level ish, but not really. And it was more like because that was one of the few times where Goku was like, "Look at their fighting moves. They're so polished." And, because they
Yeah,
were actually, yeah, that was good there.
and then blah blah
Um,
blah 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 blah. Goten and Trunks was fun to watch.
oh, the World Tournament fight.
Goten versus Trunks was fun.
Trunks versus Hercule, best fight.
And then you
It's like,
get
yeah,
Vegeta versus Pui Pui. You get Goku versus Yakon. You get
Yakon, yeah.
Gohan versus Deborah.
That's a good fight.
But
I liked it
but
more.
then you get probably one of my favorite fights in the series because I love the aggression of it. We finally
Cell versus
we get the rematch of the century with Goku versus Vegeta.
Yep.
Like that fight was just the aggression behind it was so good. And the
Back
emotion
into the mountain. That's good. Yeah, speaking of that fight, we do have some contrast differences on that
Oh,
fight.
I don't think it's the
I think,
I don't think it's the fight. It's them in the world tournament arena,
yeah, there's some there's
which we're
some
gonna go
differences.
into. It's I guess you could call it a different series.
Sort of, yes.
It's the kind of the rehash series of Kai,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna let you explain what Kai is.
Yeah, so Kai is Dragon Ball Z without all the filler.
Essentially, it follows the manga and has the dialogue that was in the manga. I
In the
think
manga. Yeah, it's more toned to that. So, they're more uh
you're gonna. This is gonna start the hate. Like this is gonna start a trend with me. I hate Kai.
yeah, he hates Kai. I'll
I
never understand.
I don't.
There is a version of Kai I do hate.
Wait, which one do you hate?
The golden era of the Nicktoons version of
Oh,
Kai.
we don't talk about Nicktoons.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Kai.
Now, uncut Kai,
Oh wait, does Kai include the other world tournament?
it doesn't. So that's Nate's like, no, Kai does.
Well,
It doesn't include that. I'm 99% sure it doesn't include that.
yeah, I was about to say you like Kai almost more than Z sometimes,
There's elements I like in it, and it's mainly the dubbing because obviously they
which
went
is
through
my
like,
problem with it.
well, it's more toned and polished by that point, and
And the
there's
fact
some.
and the argument were the okay argument no discussion yes. The scene that we're talking about is
Yeah.
when Babidi first possesses Vegeta and he goes Majin. He Babidi transports Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Supreme Kai to the World Tournament arena. The dub there in that entire scene to me in Kai is trash.
You don't like it.
And I haven't even seen the full scene. The part I'm talking about in particular is in the original dub. It's the scene when Supreme Kai says, "Don't you see the universe matters more than your meaningless squabble?" And Vegeta
Meaningless.
goes off about like, what do you know about meaningless?
Yep.
And his rant about spend most of your life ruled by another, watch your race dwindle to a handful, and then tell me what matters more than your own strength. That whole scene, the dub there, is fantastic. And it shows why Vegeta's so eager to surpass Goku.
No,
The
that's
Kai
fair
version of
point.
that scene,
You don't
just
like it.
no.
It's sad.
It's like he said. Supreme Kai says something about like you need to throw away your pride. Throw away my pride, huh? To a Saiyan, pride is all, and it just I hate it.
Yeah, that's a portion of it. I mean, I get why you don't
That
really
being
care
said,
for it.
I will say there was a scene in the Frieza saga that I did like, and it's Goku's transformation. In the original
Oh
dub,
yeah.
Goku says, "I won't let you get away with this."
Hmm,
On one hand, that is perfect. But in
that's good.
Kai, you cold, ruthless, heartless bastard.
Yep, that's a good part of
I
it
was
too.
like, "Ooh, that's good."
There's just elements of it that are really good from that aspect,
It's
And like
not.
I said, there's things I like, things I don't like from the original
I
that
do kind of like Colleen Clinkenbeard as Gohan.
that really took a long time to grow on me
Oh, I'm sure it did.
because I was just so used to the other one. Because I think in Kai they also switched up 18 too,
Did
if
they
I'm
change
not.
it from Meredith McCoy?
I think it changed. One of them changed. It was either no, no,
No,
or
no,
maybe it was
no.
Bulma.
That might have been the switch from Tiffany Vollmer to Monica Rio, which we're not going there.
Maybe that was the
Then
switch
we're
because
not
I
going
know
there.
there was something there. But there's just elements of the Kai that I like. Some made me laugh. So one in particular that always gets me is the and I don't remember what the original dub line was, but it's
I'll probably know.
16 and semi-perfect cell. After he's blasted him, he says something, but I can't remember what it was. Or maybe he doesn't say anything. I don't. But I always laugh at it because in the Kai version, 16 saying something, Incel just says she say quiet or something. He says uh, quiet or can it toaster because he blew half of his head off, and I was like, what the hell? I'll have to find the clip and send it to you. I was like, what is this?
I hate it. I hate it.
It's so stupidly funny
Speaking
though.
of things I hate, this entire podcast has been us just hyping up our love for the series. That is
Uh-oh.
not to say there's things that we don't like. And unfortunately, the parts I don't like is where the series is at now. Here's the hot take of the century: GT is better than Super.
Yep.
I hate Super. I do. I love Dragon Ball. I read it and I watch it because it is still Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
I can't stand Super.
And this is where we disagree on some of this. Now, there are parts of Super that I'm like you. I'm like, what the hell is this? And there's parts that I sort of like, and some that I
And we're
like.
going to
But
go through each saga now. So, first and foremost, after what, about a 15-year break? No, less than that.
thanks for Goku. Yeah, it does. It really does.
It stands for Grantor, fight me. Step into the Grantor. But, okay, so
Right.
Dragon Ball Z wrapped in 2006, 2007, something like that.
That was the last official thing we got. I
And then in
don't know.
2013, we got the new movie Battle of Gods,
Yep,
which
we got the
immediately
battle.
introduced the first aspect of the new Dragon Ball that I can't stand. I hate God Key.
Oh yes,
I hate
God Key.
I hate the inclusion of God Key. To me, it feels like a cop out, like, writing point, because they couldn't figure out what they wanted to go with the series.
No!
Hold on.
No! No!
The thing called Saiyan God, not Super Saiyan. What's up?
Hold
Uh,
Nothing. But instead, what they should have done was what they did in the Broly movie, or what they hinted at in Broly, and that's have Vegeta come up and say something along the lines of, like, I want to tap into the true power of the Saiyan race.
okay.
Yes, what we have is good, but there's something else past this. The true power of the Saiyan. The power of the Uzuru. But Vegeta, we don't have our tails. Correct. That doesn't mean we still can't harness the power.
Ah, I know the direction you're going with that. Maybe.
Yeah, my favorite transformation in the series.
Yeah.
But
No, that would have been a good
it would have been a
element, too.
journey, and it would have been a stretch, but it wouldn't have been impossible.
No, it wouldn't have been. I mean,
Instead, we get Super Saiyan God, which is attained by 5 Saiyans.
here's the
channeling-
thing I don't like about that, though, and this, well, it's not spoiling. People know now. Like, they only had to do that once, and then Vegeta got it on his own. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Again, weird. But
Like, be consistent at least in,
I'll
like.
say the form design isn't bad. I didn't like. I thought like the
It was an interesting take, though, right? Because
he
it wasn't.
slims down,
That slims down
and
exactly.
it's basically his base form, but with pink hair and like the pink like eyes. It was a unique design, but still. Do you remember what uh uh the initial fan theory of the design for Super Saiyan God was when it first started coming out?
Maybe.
Was essentially Super Saiyan 4 with gold fur and a gold tail, and the hair was like Super Saiyan style instead of
Oh,
black.
okay. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I remember that now. I was like, I knew it was something in that
I feel like
realm.
that would have been a stretch, but that would have been cool to see.
Oh, absolutely. Would have been cool to see.
But
The and then, we skip a few years later, get Frieza, the comeback. I mean, that
was a weird movie,
it was a weird
and
movie,
everything about
but
that I didn't like.
you didn't like that. So I was kind of the opposite. It wasn't that I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I was just like, huh, Frieza's back.
Which,
Interesting.
on one hand, I
So
get it. Frieza is one of the most iconic anime villains of all time, and he is the most iconic Dragon Ball villain of all time. So why not?
now,
Why do we not want to bring him back?
it's the
But it
worst
was so
movie in
stupid.
plot.
It was so stupid.
It's not the worst movie, Cap. Easy there, but
No, that's Dragon Ball Evolution. Fight me. Um,
oh well, forgot about that. We almost made it through the
we're talking about
podcast
Dragon Ball.
without.
You think I'm not going to mention Evolution?
Who didn't love that game? Um,
Hey, I heard the PSP game was actually pretty good.
yeah, it was literally just Budokai skinned with those characters.
But
No, that was a good portion. Now, this is where I don't know if you hate it or love it or whatever you may say. Super would have been better if they didn't rehash the first two
oh,
movies.
absolutely, absolutely. Super, like, the fact that they spent the first 26 episodes rehashing the movies, both of which were done better,
Like,
was a dumb
if,
decision on their part.
could you imagine if
Now,
Super
a
just,
recap, sure. Do like a brief
yeah,
recap of like briefly recapping like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F would have been okay.
yeah, so kind of what they did in the newest movie, like if the Dragon Ball
Yeah,
recap, that would have been fine. But could you imagine if the first thing we did get on Super was, the new stuff? Because that was always the
because it's
back then.
because anyone who watches Dragon Ball like Dragon Ball Super, no one would have gone into that not have seen everything else before.
Oh,
At least not Battle
absolutely.
of Gods and Resurrection F.
They
So it's not
probably
like
would have.
so it's not like we didn't really know much.
Oh, Cap, don't you put that evil on us. Don't you put
Cap.
that evil on
Uh,
us.
by the way, Cap, I'm sorry we didn't have you on here. I thought about it, but I also know how he and I are, and I went into this knowing this was going to be a longer podcast in general.
No,
But
yeah, no, it would have been awesome. You're here with us in spirit,
you're
basically,
here
right
like
now.
this, buddy. I promise we'll make it up to you.
No, but that would have been the thing, right? So even back at the peak of this when Super was coming out, all of that, the manga for Super had me way more interested
The
than the
manga is so
anime
much better,
portion. They do some
except for one
stuff
part.
that, yeah, they do some stuff that's really good in there. And then when the manga was coming out monthly, yeah, it comes out monthly. They were starting with the Universe
Yeah,
6 tournament
yeah.
stuff, and that was completely new stuff at the time. So
Hmm.
everybody was like, "Wait a sec, what do we got
Who's
here? New
this?
stuff."
You remember when the picture of Universe 6? No,
Yeah, I think it was Universe 6, wasn't it?
which like Goku's Universe is 6, right? Or is there
There's
7?
7.
Okay, so yeah, it's Universe 6. When the picture, just the facial portrait of Universe Six's team first came out, and you saw Hit, you saw Kaba, you saw Frost. It's like, oh, okay. So first off, new Saiyan, cool. New Frieza, interesting.
And
Who's
then
this guy?
who's the cell looking guy? No, it was Hit. Oh man.
But that
That was,
tournament, that was not a bad arc.
it really wasn't though.
It
Like
had fantastic elements. It had Piccolo being relevant in a way,
Piccolo was relevant,
which was really neat
and
to see. And again, you saw Hit, you saw Kaba, you saw Frost, and it was really cool. And you had Matt Mercer as Hit.
it was a purple Namekian, obviously.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
right.
mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like, who's this? Is that a Namekian from that universe? Why are they purple?
Yeah. No, that was the
But
thing that, and you get into the
huh,
best
huh,
arc
huh,
ever, the
huh.
with the best villain
I will ban you right now.
ever.
I will ban you right now. This is where it gets heated.
Oh
The
man.
Black Saga, the Future Trunk Saga, had so
Hey,
much wasted potential. The
he's with me for about halfway through it, and then
the
he,
amount of
no.
the amount of wasted potential in that saga is depressing. Because you start off with Trunks. First off, his hair is blue now, whatever. But
Yes, Cap, that argument, I will agree with that. I had that argument too.
you had evil Goku. Like, do you remember when that promotional picture
For the
first
sake
came
of the
out?
Saiyan race, he has my blessings to
Oh,
ban
I
Princess
remember.
Trunks.
Because the
When that
first,
picture first came
Your
out,
hair
you
looks
saw
like
Trunks
lavender,
and Mai,
but smells
which was
like
a weird combo.
strawberries.
Dad!
With
yeah,
Goku
that
Black
combo, yeah, didn't make sense to me, that combo. But
with Goku Black in the background. Like, wait, is that Goku? Wait, what's going on?
you know, speaking of this arc, and I'm actually going to agree with you here. This is one of the dumbest times where Super actually makes Goku a complete idiot.
No. They've been doing that since the beginning.
Oh, but
Like,
this one was
you're
even.
not wrong. You're not wrong. One of the things I hate most about Super is the way they made Goku the biggest dumbass, the biggest idiot in the universe. And while Goku was never the smartest, he had his moments.
Yeah, he did in Z.
He
I mean, like.
never put anyone. Okay, hold on. Okay, he never put anyone's lives in danger just for a good fight, in the same way he does in Super.
Maybe. It's just smart in martial arts, not book smart.
He
Somewhat
has
smart.
moments where he's damn fucking smart, and in Super he's
He's a
about
moron.
as smart. He's about as smart as a block of wood.
He's not very smart in that. Yeah.
He's
Because I'll never
dumb.
forget the whole banter of whatever. He just gave her a kiss or whatever, and he's like,
That was
"Aren't
so
you married?"
stupid.
I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the
That was
hell?"
so stupid. And again, it's in the black arc.
Because the thing I think back to, and that I don't know why this scene is what I think back to in that, is they make him that big of an idiot, but if you remember one of the first interactions, or not one of the first, but one of the first interactions
When he first
after
wakes
the,
up,
yes, from
he
the heart
kisses Chi-Chi.
virus. Yeah, and like I'm like, okay, he clearly knows.
But
Forget
the thing
yeah,
about
no.
the black arc that I hate so much is
You-
you hold on a second. I know where you're going. You hush for a second. I know where you're going with this. You just zip it for a second. You have what the audience only sees as an evil Goku. How could you have made this good? You already have one timeline introduced. Like, you already have technically two timelines introduced.
Mhm.
Introduce a third. Where Goku never hit his head. But instead of destroying the Earth like the Saiyans wanted him to, he conquered it.
Yep.
And he went through similar things to where he got the Super Saiyan power. Like, he got the power that Goku has now. In similar format. In similar styles. But he was a beacon of evil. He wanted to conquer the galaxy, and he fucking did. And then he gets bored and destroys it. So what does he do now? Time travel. Timelines.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Trunks' timeline and starts to do the same thing. Have that be the Goku that we're finding. Instead, what we got?
What did we get?
We got the result of the ultimate body change. Goku in this timeline, Goku was Ginyu'd, but with the Super Dragon Balls by a Supreme Kai in training.
Yep.
Who was nothing but a whiny bitch.
Man,
The
good old
entire time.
Zabasu. Your best man.
That's what infuriated me so much.
There's so many different mysterious elements to that, and I don't know. I think with an edge.
Well, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that. He doesn't hit his head, but he doesn't have the positive reinforcement to keep him head leveled.
Yeah.
So he still maintains that original quote unquote evil Saiyan mindset.
Yeah, the mantra. Yep.
Boom. But I hated it. It had a few cool moments. Vegeta was there just for fan service. It proved no point whatsoever.
Ooh, do you talk about something I hated? That retcon is the.
Oh, that.
Ooh, I hate that retcon
so
so much.
In Z, the Patara earrings were permanent, regardless of power. And I'm not entirely sure how the inner taboo, they kind of warped the power.
Yeah, so that I can buy. They had a barrier, they let the barrier down, split the fusion.
But in Super, it only lasted an hour.
Because it also made the old Kai look like an idiot too. He was supposed to be thousands of years old. Kibito Shin. Well, Kibito Shin, that was different. No, wait. It was permanent for Supreme Kais, not regular people. Okay, yeah, that's...
Wait,
well,
what?
yeah,
No,
I forgot about that part.
The old Kai fused with the witch. The witch was a normal person.
He was the Supreme Kai, though.
But still, it wasn't two Supreme Kais. So the normal person
well, it
should
didn't
have
have to
negated
be
the Supreme Kai there, to where, if you're going by Super, and Super sucks. Okay, let's just leave it at that. But
yeah, no, he said if anyone was a Supreme Kai, if it was one, that was the whole reason that Zamasu and Black didn't split up fully, because he was the mortal body. That whole thing there was really weird. But just the way that whole arc ended was really odd.
Out. The constant back and forth.
Oh,
between
that
Trunks'
was
timeline and the normal timeline. The constant back and forth is stop.
I will say this. One of the best things that did come out of that was the opening banter with the reveal of Super Saiyan Rose. That's some cool stuff there.
Rose, I did enjoy that. I did like that aspect.
Because they were
the Saiyan power mixed with the Supreme Kai power made that that was cool. But the thing about Super is Super has a lot of interesting concepts. But it drops.
Like I said, that arc was all over the place. Oh, because I think Cap talked about this earlier, but we went from that to the fusion to bringing back the Mafuba. What?
Yeah. And using Goku as the biggest idiot, he forgets the key element to make the Mafuba work. It's like, oh, oops, my bad, and just
And one of the biggest plot holes from this, and they may have explained this, I don't
it's
know.
super. I doubt they did.
Rosie was still alive in that timeline last I checked. Like,
Unless
it
Flash
could have
went
just
around and killed everyone.
maybe. That's tough to say, but he could have just popped
I
over.
don't,
Hey,
I
I'm
don't
here.
remember. I don't remember because just
They only showed Kami House once, but
I
they didn't
would have
show
liked
anybody.
to have seen Trunks' time with the Supreme Kai and Kibito.
Yep, that.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Well, guess what? Read the manga.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Some major differences there. One of the key things, and I know the ending of this arc both ways was ridiculously stupid. Like, oh, I pressed the button. Um, because
Doesn't work for the
the
Zen and that.
yeah, the two Zenos. The manga adaptation of that. Did you ever read that? Because there was a completely different contrast compared to how the anime one did, because it was really cool because the fused, Zamasu Black, like, he knew who Zeno was, and he was actually scared. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's the dynamic the anime needed, because he was just like, who's this? Or, he was too busy laughing, but he knew, and he was like, nope, I'm out of here. They go through all that, and like, Zeno pops up, and he's
A
like,
lot
oh.
of people, because where I work, it's,
Mm.
we have a lot of Dragon Ball discussions on and off, and a lot of people seem to have issues with my disdain for the idea that Trunks can just magically do the Spirit Bomb and channel it into his sword.
Spirit sword.
That made no sense to me. He has not seen Goku do the Spirit Bomb once. How does he know how to channel the energy like that?
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, he really wouldn't know. And then the whole.
And you can't say Supreme Kai and Kibito taught him because King Kai taught that technique.
Yeah, he did teach him that. Let's talk about the.
He did do the Spirit Bomb. That was 100% the Spirit Bomb. That was a take on the Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, it was the spirit sword bomb
He,
thing.
chan-
Just
he
because.
channeled the energy and he saw.
Saw Vegeta use the spirit sword.
No,
It's different.
He channeled the he.
Cap, you
that
gotta
was-
go watch.
that
Can
was a
watch it.
spirit
People
bomb. That
were
was a spirit
literally. They were doing the thing.
That was a take on the Spirit Bomb, and it was stupid.
Yeah, he shouldn't know how to do that.
And yet,
The other.
miraculously, he does, and he knows how to channel it into a weapon, like into his sword.
I can, and I hate saying this, I can buy that more than the random ass power up he got. Not saying that wasn't a bad power up, but
Super
like
Saiyan
that
Rage.
just came out of nowhere, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm on your level now." What?
It's like, huh? Oh,
Because he was someone.
Whatever.
Well, they tried to make it. He was, he trained by Vegeta and all that, and seeing the throwback to the Super Trunks form.
Sure,
I forgot
yes.
about that.
And then we get 40 episodes of nothing but filler,
It's a lot of filler and baseball.
leading up to the Tournament
Yeah.
of Power, which it's not a tournament; it's a fucking battle arena. I mean, battle royale.
It is. And like I said, there's elements of that I like and elements of that I don't like.
More elements that I don't like. One of those elements is Jiren.
No, Jiren.
He was too overpowered.
Yeah.
Jiren's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. The one thing that I would have done differently for that tournament, so actually there's two things, but one specifically about the tournament is I didn't know wait, who possibly learned the spirit bump? No. Cap, come on. Gohan didn't do that.
No.
Yeah, he knew it more, but basically with the tournament, and they could have gone a much better direction for this, right? So just get rid of the no killing rule. Like, let's see that
if you're
tournament.
gonna, and spoiler alert, if you're gonna bring everyone back anyway,
Well, not even that aspect of it. Just like, hey, if you lose, you're getting erased. Just kill them. Like, or not kill them, but like let killing be allowed, so to speak.
you
Because
want to do
I
that with
still,
Frieza and Frost there.
well, that changes a lot of things too. So, more particularly, Hit would have been not nerfed because he could have just went through.
Yeah,
Not saying he could have beat Jiren, but you
the
you
no fly
saw.
rule was weird. Like and
Oh yeah, was that a thing?
that was a thing, and
Oh,
they practically went around that the entire time.
forgot about that.
There was essentially a lot of flying. I will say the Tournament of Power had a lot of parts that I did like. It had some of the best animation in the series because up until this point the animation has been shit.
Had animation, had Ultra Instinct.
It had Ultra
Well,
Instinct. It had Kefla. I loved
yes, it
Kefla.
did have Kappa. That was good
And
there.
I will say the episode when Goku finally hits Ultra Instinct
Also,
was
Superpower boosted for 48. Oh, that's right. It was only like 48
yeah,
minutes. I forgot about that.
yeah,
All that under 40, under an hour.
yeah,
I forgot about that.
yeah.
The Zenkais were built. No, Zenkais don't exist anymore, man. I don't know.
No.
It had,
There's just so like
had
we watched
Kefla
it
and
week
then.
to week. We watched it as
Oh,
each
we did.
episode was coming out, and half of those episodes were such a drag.
Oh, don't forget about the most useless damn change ever. You know the one I'm talking about?
Go on from the manga to the
N-
to the anime.
No, in the dub. Top.
Oh my god, oh my god. So there's a
Just
character in the anime and the manga. His name is Topo. Well, the way the character Hit is pronounced in the Japanese is Hito.
yeah.
So when they were dubbing, like this bit, they took Topo and changed it to Top.
The dumbest shit ever.
When I first read that, I messaged him and I was like, "This better be a joke.
No.
This better be a joke."
No jokes here.
And it was not a joke.
Piccolo being outed by a flea. Yeah, that
Because
was
here's the
weird.
other thing, I haven't seen it dubbed.
Oh, you haven't seen that dub?
No,
Okay.
I watched the subbed as it was coming out,
Yeah.
and then I was done with it. I
No,
haven't I haven't seen any of Super's dubbed.
Oh.
I've seen clips, but I haven't seen the full thing dubbed from start to finish.
Oh, I thought you had seen some
No,
of the dub,
no,
but okay.
and I don't want to.
As I said, it's parts of it like the whole Jiren was weird, but like
I hated Jiren. I hated the
17
concept.
getting time to shine was good, but
But
also
like I said at work a couple days ago, while that was cool, it feels kind of a forced surprise. Having Goku lose was cool, but just randomly giving it to 17, like it kind of felt like, okay, well, it's like you knew it was coming, but it felt off to me. I don't know.
yeah, Goku and Frieza working together. That was
And then
yes, that was a dub line. I
was
forgot
officially
about
a
that.
dub line. I did see that clip, and I cannot believe they wrote that.
I forgot about that. Wait a second. Oh
Just
man.
Funimation, what the hell, guys? But
Yeah,
then,
no.
speaking of retcons, we got one of the biggest retcons in the franchise with Broly.
Oh.
The retcon of Broly in Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie. Which, when it first came out, was fan-freaking-tastic.
Everybody was like, "Oh, it's
Because
Broly."
they changed his backstory for hating Goku.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
to it
Hmm.
was all Paragus, which is what it should have been from the very beginning.
Old man Paragus. Yes. Old man Damien
Oh
Clark.
my god, that was so good. That was so good.
That was
But
the best. But I forgot about some of that. I had to watch that again. It's been a while since
my
I've
biggest
seen that
problem with
one.
the movie, and I hate to shit on this so much, I really do, because as you can't, if you can't tell, I love Dragon Ball. I love this franchise, but some of the execution and what they do in the series and Super has just been just so lackluster.
Yeah, some executions there. I know that, and this is something that leads into the next one, but the flip flop animation. Did you like that? I can't
No,
remember.
I
You
hated it.
didn't like it.
Like, and the biggest example is Vegeta versus Broly. That was some of the best animation in that movie.
Yep.
That is peak Dragon Ball animation. It
Yep. We
was
got
excellent.
yeah, we got
And,
Super
and then
Saiyan
it,
God too.
and then it's yeah. Well, I didn't hate that part.
Yeah, with the Vegeta. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then
Um,
it switched to Goku versus Broly, and that animation looked so weird because it wasn't consistent. And I get it. They had different companies working on this movie. It had different animation teams working on this movie. I get that. But when you look at literally every other anime movie that comes out, you got the Jujutsu Kaisen, you got the My Hero movies. The animation
Yep.
is consistent. And you take a
absolutely
franchise
consistent.
like Dragon Ball, which is one of the most iconic anime franchises of all time. You're telling me you don't have the budget to get a consistent team to make the animation consistent the entire time? I don't know why I keep saying the word consistent. I need to stop. But you know what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying. And the
You know,
movie, like the Broly movie, is a key example of that. Because it was so back and forth, up and down. It was whiplash.
it was go back and forth, and then the elements with the Gogeta fight. That was
I didn't.
it was more tame in that, I
The
believe.
the fact that they literally went into a different dimension and fought was weird. They even
Oh,
referenced it. It's like, whoa, this is weird. Okay, let's go.
oh, that happened. Yeah, and then I forgot about the
But
old. Who could
just
ever forget the old Brody? Your father's been killed.
Frieza should have won the Academy Award for Best Actor right there. I'm just saying.
Oh, that was bad. That was
But
great.
but then hold on before I touch on the last thing. By the way, we haven't even touched video games yet. And we're 2 hours in. But the manga. We got 2 whole sagas since the Tournament of Power.
Yeah, it's true.
We got
We did.
Moro and we got the Granola
The
arc. Which
Granola the Survivor arc.
the ending to that was so damn weird.
Yeah. I'm curious because there hasn't been another chapter yet, so I need to see what happens after
Well,
that.
we still have what 10 days left,
Yeah,
and we
but it
don't
was
hear
going.
anything about the next chapter until about day 12.
Well, it was on break. They took a break.
Oh, they did take a break.
Yeah, they were taking a hiatus before
Man,
the
I got
next
pee so
arc.
bad right now.
He's actually.
Tell you
Yeah,
what, we're gonna take a brief break real quick, guys.
take a brief break.
Be right back. I guess he took a break too. Oh, guys. Well, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out tonight, guys. On one hand, sorry this is taking longer than expected, but on the other hand, we knew this was coming.
So,
I was saying, dude, if I hadn't taken that break, we'd have been in trouble.
yeah.
And I was just thanking them for hanging out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's great. I love it when everybody pops by. It's always fun.
And the whole, this is a longer podcast than I usually do. But
Oh, it's for an interlude, it did. No. It was
did, but we knew this was
yeah.
going to be a longer episode.
There's an entire, 2 arcs we've had, so that was,
Which honestly,
curious to see those elements animated. It's not if, it's when.
because I believe they're working on it now. I believe
Yeah.
I heard they're working on it now.
Which is kind of insane to think about, because not from the ending, but it'll be 10 years almost since Super started in like another year, which would be just insane to think about, because you would have had
Battle of Gods came out in
2012 or
it came out in
2013.
2013, but I want to say it came out in May. They are working on adapting Broly and superheroes.
Oh,
Nope.
gosh.
When would you say Broly? Like Broly took place immediately after the Tournament of Power, right? So, Moro,
Yeah, it was like it had to be right
so
after
Moro
that.
and Granola take place after Broly.
Yeah, they would take place after that. Now,
manga to work with after.
Moro is going to be insane to see adapted.
Because
because
honestly, Moro is one of my favorite sagas to come out of Dragon Ball in a long time. In all of Super. Even with that bogus ending, which they could easily change somehow. No, they couldn't, because then that would change how Granola ends.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but that was weird. But anyway, I really liked Moro. Which Moro is a wizard.
Yep.
Who eats planets. Who absorbs the power of the planets. He's essentially Galactus.
Essentially.
Oh my god, Moro is Dragon Ball Galactus.
He is, really.
Who starts off with a unique form. He literally looks like a goat.
Yeah.
He literally looks like a goat.
He's an old man goat.
And then
Moro's Unicron, maybe.
what, he uses the Super Dragon Balls to wish for, like, to be back in his prime. He practically pulled a Lord Slug.
Yeah, it's like that, or King Piccolo. There's a lot of that I don't remember, but
Wait, both of them did that. Both of them did that.
They both did, yeah. There was some cool Namek Dragon Ball. Yeah, no, because they went back to Namek.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
It was very, like, Frieza early saga is with that whole Namek, battle portion there. And his magic could counteract, the god powers, so...
Which was so interesting,
And then the really weird thing from that arc, which kind of brought relevancy, Boo was immune to the powers, so that was really cool to see Boo get some spotlight.
Of the Supreme Kai that still lived within him.
Yep, that too.
North Kai? The North Supreme Kai?
I was just the Grand Supreme Kai, I think.
Was it the Grand Supreme Kai?
Yeah, he was the big bubbly one.
Yeah.
That's where Boo got it from.
Which was so interesting, like a way to make Boo relevant. The Grand Supreme Kai. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was that portion of it, and honestly, somebody said something earlier about 73. That's a whole weird concept in of itself as well, and I guess people.
Wait,
are here.
73. What's 73?
The
the other guy that he fought.
Yeah, the
other
weird
enemy
guy
was there who could absorb techniques, like learn techniques by absorbing them.
Yeah, they absorb them. Oh, yes.
Uh
I
oh.
forgot about that.
Uh oh. What part?
Oh, just the good old Goku pulling the old sensu bean again.
Oh God.
Oh, I totally forgot that because they even commented on it, I think. Krill was like,
Damn it, Goku! Why would you do that
he
again?
was like, you better not do that
I
again.
want a real fight.
No, that was there. And then there's things which I don't know if you like or don't like. I don't get giant Goku. I don't
That's the part I
understand
hated. That's the
it.
part I hated. So what happens is Goku channels his energy into and he takes on this spirit form of a massive like version of himself, and that's essentially how he beats Moro.
Yeah,
And
just that.
they didn't do anything with Vegeta's defusion technique, did they?
They used it barely and then
So
it
once
became.
again, it's a case of Akira Toriyama just, hey Vegeta, here's a new thing because we didn't even touch on that in the Tournament of Power.
He
Vegeta got a
did
new
learn
form.
instant transmission though, so
Yeah, Vegeta gets Yarja training and just doesn't do anything with it. Which, by the way, we didn't touch on that in the Tournament of Power. Vegeta got a new form.
yeah, he did get a new
He
form. I
got
thought you were going to talk about Yardrats being
no,
in
no, no, no,
it.
no.
I was like,
Because
what?
I remembered Cap said something earlier. Vegeta got a new form. He got Super Saiyan Evolution.
Yeah, that was there.
Which, speaking of new form, he's catching up to Goku in terms of forms he has. Blue
Yeah, he
Evolution.
is.
Okay. Evolution is anime exclusive. Yeah, he still got the form though,
Yeah, he has it, so that was there.
which was still weird, but whatever. It was essentially like
Oh,
Super Vegeta just blue.
yeah, I forgot about Ultra Ego. Yeah, or no, they haven't animated that. Or
No, Ultra Ego was the granola
was
arc
yeah?
because Beerus starts training him to be a destroyer.
I think it pop. I can't. I'd have to go back and look. I think something similar.
It didn't happen in Moro. It didn't happen in Moro.
I,
It happened in Granola.
well, I know what they named it, but I forget what he did in the manga port. I don't remember. There were so many weird things in the manga portion for the Tournament of Power. Namely, one.
Oh, you're talking about the Tournament of Power manga.
Well, he did something in that too, but I don't think it was Ultra Ego. It was something similar. But the thing that really blew your mind in that was when Jiren went toe to toe with Roshi. And I remember reading those panels, and I was like, "This
He's
can't
doing
be
what now?
right." And they were kind of
You want to
teasing,
talk
like,
about?
"Oh,
You want to talk? Do you remember the thing that really pissed me off about the manga, about the Tournament of Power?
what thing?" I know there were a bunch.
Gohan.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
Gohan's the one who takes out Kefla. He's the one who fights Kefla.
Yep.
But what they do with him in the manga is Kefla is trying to egg him on to go Super Saiyan, and Gohan says, "No, I'm not relying on my Saiyan powers. From now on, you're fighting the human side of me."
Yep.
I hated that.
Yeah, there was this. I don't know. There's weird things about it from that aspect. I'd have to go back and read it again at some point, or just glance over it. There's those elements
Cap, you're not
there.
wrong. Again, it's just all ass pulls technique and powers that get set up and never pay off, like Boo Saga Fusion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
that's fair. I mean, the last payoff, or not really payoff thing, was Super Saiyan 3, honestly.
which
Like,
even
that was.
honestly, yeah, I like Super Saiyan 3. A lot of people hate Super Saiyan 3, but I like it. It's a unique change in appearance.
Yeah, for what it was,
And,
right?
and
It's.
the negative aspect of the form, I really enjoyed that. How
Yeah,
it's a
like, it can't.
zap on your energy. It drains your. It did nothing though. It boosted his power, but it zapped his energy. It drained his stamina.
Yeah, it's the
It's a,
Frieza effect, right? Like,
pretty
stamina
much.
can't stay in it. It was a great transformation.
But
I know we've talked about this before. This is just one of the fun fact side. How is Super Saiyan 4 the one Sean passed out and not Super Saiyan 3 when they were
yeah,
recording it?
because to my knowledge, Goku didn't even do a lot of screaming with Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, I was just like,
It was
what?
just a basic transformation yell.
Yeah,
Super
I was
Saiyan
like,
3 is
how
the
did...
one where he had to hold that note, had to hold that scream for minutes.
when the song was, hey, he could have. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. He even said he could have, but he was
He
like, ah, I'll let the kids have their
like
fun.
he wanted to give Goten and Trunks because he made a valid point with Piccolo. I won't be here forever. It's gonna be up to them.
Oh yeah, super disagree.
Yeah, but listen, okay, we talked about this.
Super disagrees majorly with that, but no,
What do you
it's
mean that's not true? What's not true?
what's not true, Cap. He
He
wasn't dead.
said
He
multiple times that he could have won had he gone all out in that fight. But it would have drained his time, which he needed to teach the fusion dance. He only needed to stall Bobbity and Boo.
yeah, that's all he was doing. Yeah, it did cut it
Yeah,
short. Uh,
you're
and it
not
was the
wrong about
thing.
that. But
Oh yeah,
if
no,
he'd
it
have gone
did.
all out, he probably could have won.
Yeah, he even said he could,
Yeah.
but you know, that's we'll never
Same
know.
thing with
But
Kid Buu. Like, he let the fight drag on so Vegeta could have a shot.
yeah, didn't understand that, and all that boiled up to is Kid Buu or Vegeta. Yeah, we're gonna use the Spirit Bomb, and Goku was like, that never works. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But, and then we had Granola after Moro, which I enjoyed Moro overall. It had a lot of interesting concepts, and the villain was
And
unique.
I enjoyed Moro
And plus,
more than I did
seeing
Granola arc. Just saying.
Granola had a lot of interesting fights.
But there wasn't really a lot of substance. They were like
I
they did the
kind of
same
liked
thing.
Gas.
Yeah, that stuff with the end was weird though.
Oh my
Like
god,
with
the way they just rushed the ending. With Frieza
yeah,
coming back and essentially saying, I've been in the hyperbolic time chamber of sorts.
yeah, that was
And now
weird.
he is stronger than Goku and Vegeta, so suddenly we're back to the Frieza saga.
It did have a lot of interesting elements. The key thing for me in that was actually seeing more of Bardock, honestly. But
Which, again,
uh,
felt kind of...
and then another set of Dragon Balls. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the ones that only take like 6 months to
Yeah,
restore.
there's only two of them, I think, for that one.
2 or 3.
Yeah, it's two or three. And they're like, oh, you have these, and that's there. Because
Granello should have
wishing to
never
be.
cut his hair.
Did he cut his hair?
I don't remember him cutting his hair.
He might have. I really don't remember.
But
Pivoting back to just a second, because I forgot we didn't even touch on this with the Moro.
Time Patrol?
Well, yeah, sort of, but seeing that we had a sibling and like it that explained the whole. Oh, if they do anything, they die basically
I
or
forgot
whatever.
about that. I forgot all about that.
Because that's what he was like. Hey, you
Well,
can't
we knew he had a
interfere.
sibling with
Well, yeah,
what's her
but
name? What's her name? Vados, right?
it was yeah, but it was in the same universe though, right? Like that was the whole.
Oh,
Or was his sibling or in training something? But he's like,
oh,
that I forget what his name even was, but
was that his sibling? I thought it was
I'm
just
pretty
an angel
sure.
in training.
I thought it was a sibling. I could be wrong.
I don't remember if that was his brother, and I can't remember.
I should remember his name, but it was one of those times, right, where it was more of a substance thing, like where like, hey, if you break the rules, you're done so to an extent. Now the cop out at the end of that arc, I can sort of get it because he lost the angelic stuff basically.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, so I'm trying to see who.
I don't remember what his name is.
Miras.
Mirrors, yeah, okay. Mirrors.
God, looking at some of these
We
pictures of all this, just has started. This is so freaking cool.
It'll be good because it'll be back there. Yeah, Mirrors. Yep.
Dragon
Um,
Ball Super Mirrors. Because Mirrors was cool.
yeah, it's cool. It helped Goku with the
Like,
get more inclined with Ultra Instinct. Like, hey, you
yeah.
can't.
Kind
And
of.
Goku's getting to the point where he can almost tap into it when he wants, but some of it he
Yeah.
can't. So
Yeah.
like,
Whis is his brother. Which,
and
which,
then
which technically,
Mhm.
they're all siblings. All the
They
Androids
are.
are.
Yeah, it was
And this
just
says like occupation, galactic patrolman, angel trainee, formerly.
yep. He lost out on that. Um,
But that was, yeah.
it's
Again, fantastic concepts, but not necessarily the best execution.
yeah, but if everyone's okay with it, there is one other thing we can talk about.
Technically, two things. We can go into like specs on the Granola arc. We can talk about video games. We can talk about the latest movie, which we
Yeah,
need to.
that's the one. Because never before have I been like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this movie.
The entire time, this man has been like, that movie's gonna suck. That movie's gonna suck. That movie's gonna suck. And I honestly was too. I did not look forward to that movie. Yet, when he came down to visit me for my birthday back in August, he
And-
came down 2 days early so we could go see it in theaters together. And let me tell you, we both walked out of that movie practically saying this is one of our favorite Dragon Ball movies.
Yeah, it was definitely. Cap, have you seen it yet? Or I'm sure you
I'd say,
maybe
yeah.
you did,
Have you seen Superhero?
or any of it, or any portions of it. I mean, there's not. I
It
mean,
practically got leaked like months before it came out here.
yeah, Goku time. Talk about GT. Yeah, no,
Oh, trust me, it's coming. But first, I want to touch on Super Hero.
oh god, that naming scheme, man.
And the reason it's called Superhero.
You're gonna get banned, man. Don't say that.
You mean it surpassed your favorite Dragon Ball? Listen, we're going to talk about evolution here in a few minutes, okay? Don't you worry about that. But
no, not evolution.
You know we have to. You know we have to. But anyway, the reason it's called Dragon Ball Super Superhero is because Akira Toriyama legit forgot that the anime was called Dragon Ball Super.
Yep.
But
Oh, so you haven't seen it? Okay, so I don't think.
it was fantastic.
Yeah, it
It,
was.
it had a few moments that I was like, okay.
Yep.
But seeing
I still
it
have to
in
go
the
back
movie
and.
was
Oh,
not as
well,
bad as I
that's-
thought it would be.
That's the major thing,
Yeah, that's the big
honestly.
thing, and they say that like 10 minutes into the movie.
Right, go. Yeah. Okay. So you already know all
Okay.
the stuff. Okay. So
And,
yeah.
and it's not Gohan Blanco, it's Beast Gohan.
No,
And
it's
Piccolo
going.
Orange. That's the name of it, Piccolo Orange.
Yeah. Super
But-
Saiyan white hair and
I don't want
yeah,
to talk
no,
about that movie's like everything about it until it's actually out where everyone can see it.
no,
Because
that's fair.
Because there's some parts about it I want to see his reaction to when he sees it.
Yeah, no, that's good. There's a lot of it
But-
there.
The fact that
I
Goku's barely in the movie was a plus for me.
that too, and the biggest travesty of this movie for me personally is you bring back Cell, as Cap had said,
And it is Damian Clark.
and he gets no lines. He "Rrrr." Like, come on, man. Like
So Max is assuming no, yeah. Here's the thing, like because he wasn't fully developed. That's why he's semi-perfect Cell. If they had given him the full time to like fully like build, he would have come out perfect Cell. But would he have been that big?
oh, damn gigantic Cell. That was something.
We freaking got Hirudegarn fight again.
Yeah, that
But
portion of it. Yeah, that was my biggest thing. Like, come on, you got Damien. That's all you use him
it was so
for.
cool
Like,
seeing everyone team up. It was so cool seeing Goten, Trunks, Krillin, 18, Piccolo, the Gammas. Like, it was so cool.
we talked about that, Cap, and Nate said that I agree. That would have been too much of a rehash.
That would
I
have been,
think.
yeah, that would have been too much of a rehash, I think.
Like, oh, need these and all that, and 18 got some PTSD though. That
Oh
was
my
for
god, did
sure.
she ever?
You're like, wait a second.
But I just love that, like, I don't, I'm contradicting myself here, but Goten and Trunks fail the fusion. And it's Fat Gotenks, but he has some moments that are actually like,
Yeah,
he does his
useful.
job. He's relevant.
Yeah, they
And I
do.
love that. And I hope this is a sign moving forward that whatever comes next, everyone else will have a shot at it.
And Cap, I don't know if you have seen this portion or not. It's finally different versions of Goten and Trunks. Finally.
Yeah, they're growing
Like,
up.
it's like,
They need to
man.
rely on individuality. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
And
they're
the
they're
way they explained it was actually really cool. It was a simple sentence that Gohan says,
oh
and I
yeah.
loved it. It was like, yeah, we Saiyans we'll stay small for a certain point, but then we just hit a growth spurt, and it's just bam.
Yeah, that's what it
I was
does.
like, you know what? I can accept that. I got that. I like that. But
I mean, he hit his in a day, so
yeah, pretty much. Um, but Gohan in this movie, like, was fantastic. Like, he is focused on his studies,
Mhm.
but then something happens with Pan, and he, oh my god, this is honestly some of my favorite Gohan that we've had in a long time. In a long time. Since Cell.
I told Nate when we were watching it, I was like, "Oh no, Gohan, rain, storms. This ain't gonna end well." He doesn't have good experiences with that.
But he didn't lose his arm or his life, so he's okay.
That's true, but I have to say though, like,
Okay,
because
so
the
no, that form wasn't his ultimate form. That was just a new form, and then Orange
uh,
is the ultimate form.
that portion of it, because I was the biggest iffy thing for me was the animation and the
The
actual.
trailer did it no justice.
It didn't.
The trailer did
The
it no
rain
justice.
scene in that fight, ooh, Gohan and
It was
that in the
so good.
rain,
It was
that
so good.
looked beautiful. So
Like,
yeah,
I was very impressed with that movie, and I applaud them for that.
yeah, it did.
And
But,
then they just had me going, fucking really, at the end in the post credit scene.
oh yeah, that was a thing. Man yells at the theater. What?
I was pissed
Yeah,
because
it
I've
was
said it
so
before. Goku has never beaten Vegeta. It'd be interesting if
Cell
Cell
wasn't
was
my.
in one.
Yeah, that would have been
Oh my
interesting.
god, that would have been so good. Broly on Beerus' planet, they didn't do shit with that.
Oh, I forgot about that. What are you talking
Exactly,
about?
because they
He
didn't
got
do
a
anything.
crush.
Yeah, Beerus has a.
Broly's not gonna like that.
So here's my thing. This movie has to take place after where the manga's at. So this
Okay.
movie takes place after everything goes down with Frieza. So
Well,
Gohan doesn't have this form during Frieza. Piccolo
we
doesn't
don't
have his form during Frieza.
we don't know though. Like, right? We don't know where those two take place at because there are nuanced things because there's time skipping.
Unless there's a time skip in the manga where it moves after where superhero takes place, but that make no sense. Because you really think Goku and Vegeta would let Frieza, who is now stronger than them, have free reign in the galaxy? They're gonna want to try to stop him.
Okay. That kind of makes
No,
sense.
because trust me, it doesn't take place during Granola.
No, that would be weird if it did.
Because you see Goku and Vegeta in the movie. Like, they're on Beerus' planet training with Broly. So
Yeah,
it does.
timeline placements are always something weird, though, right?
So the biggest thing is this movie, like, releasing this movie in the time that the movie takes place, while the manga is doing its own thing. It feels kind of like a throw off.
Which they could very much do that, but the weird thing about it is that, yeah, those movies, alternate
But I feel
universe,
like it was said that, going off on that, I feel like it's been said that the movies moving forward are canon.
they might
I
be
feel like I heard something about
somewhat.
that. Because if
But
this is an alternate timeline and they don't do anything with this, like Gohan in the series moving forward, I'm going to be pissed.
yeah, no, but just like on the movie itself, it was really weird because it flipped the. Not get too much into like the box office, but it was the worst one ever in Japan for performance. And then over here, it was
was the
like
best.
breaking. Yeah, like that's such a weird flip to have.
I guess I've been canon since Battle Gods. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Broly's canon, obviously.
Yeah, Burley is there.
So if superhero is canon, like, okay, so what's going on between the manga and this? Like, it's. I don't need sleep. I need answers.
It just depends on what they do, so, right? It's going to depend on what the manga does next versus what the next movie or whatever they do. Because you know they're probably going to make another movie.
Oh, you know
It's
they're gonna
Dragon
make
Ball.
another movie, but I want them to do more stuff. I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate this. But can you imagine Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, and Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo teaming up against a massive threat, and Legendary Broly? Can you imagine
Sounds
that team up?
so they team up against Soul Frieza Black or Black
Can you?
Frieza, whatever he's calling himself now.
I want to see that. I want to see Ultra Instinct Go. I want to see that team versus Black Frieza.
Yeah, because I'm curious to see where they pivot from that. Because
Plot
it's
twist.
like
Plot twist. Cooler comes back and he teams up with Frieza.
Golden Cooler, maybe? No.
Goku and Gohan's hair would be too similar. It's not really. No, it's not. Just in color only.
Sir, did you not
Have
see
you
how
seen Beast Gohan?
his hair, there is no,
You
it's
know
bigger.
how you know how weird Gohan looked at Super Saiyan 2 at 11 years old.
It's like that, but like, it's like Super
his-
Saiyan 3, but just standing up on.
I thinking about it, I feel like his hair is about as tall as he is.
Oh, it had to be. It was literally like Super Saiyan 3 just popped
It
up.
was weird, but
But it did have his
seeing that
Teen
form of
Gohan vibe.
like he wasn't about to make the same mistake he made with Cell first time. He
yes.
thought about it, but he said, "No, he needs to die."
Yeah, he did. He says, "That all you got?"
Yeah,
That scene where
That
punt.
was so good. But like he
Yeah.
starts to make an old mistake again, but
Then there was a controversial line in that movie, which
was?
I don't know. Oh yes, I don't know if you caught it
I
too.
feel
It
like
caused
I did, but I don't know. I can't remember which one you're talking about off the top of my head.
this specific one is the one that caused all the issues with everybody, where they were talking about, oh, if he was perfect Cell, even if Dad and Vegeta were here, we might not have won.
Oh, that.
I'm like, I don't know about that. Because for Gohan to say that, because this is also, after that, so this is Gohan that's seen Ultra Instinct, all of that. I'm like, so.
But he hasn't seen Ultra Ego or Ultra Instinct like mastered the way it is in Granola.
Well,
We know
mastered,
of. We don't. Again, we don't know what happens between Granola and here.
Well, I got Moro too, so I'm pretty sure Gohan and them were there during that.
Gohan
so
was
that's
a part of the team taking on like the minions. I don't think he saw anything that.
Couldn't he just Hekai Cell? Maybe.
Yeah, but they're not going to because that'd be a cop out.
Ah, the spirit fusion thing wouldn't work on that.
Yeah, yeah, he would
So
not. That wouldn't have worked on Cell at all because there'd be no reason for it to. He's not fused with anything.
now it would work on original cell. Now wouldn't that be the well,
I
Gohan
was
almost did
perfect.
that.
Do it again. Okay, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But
Man, that tripped me up too because we were talking about Cell, but like the whole when that happened and well, I was like, Gohan, what the hell are you doing? Just kill him. And like in the manga, I didn't know that like he immediately did the blow up thing. It wasn't like
oh
there
really?
wasn't an interlude of Gohan kicking his ass or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, he just boom went immediately into it. So another example of the anime switch because I was like, what? This is weird. But no, it just Cell made me think of that for
Mm,
some reason. But I
but
don't know.
and then timeline wise, in terms of like how old characters are at certain times. It's time to talk about it. It's time to talk about it. Dragon Ball GT, the series that was not
Grand Tour.
step to the Grand Tour. Dragon Ball GT. Um,
Yeah.
the series that had no work done by Akira or any of his team, to my knowledge. I know Akira had nothing to do with it.
The only thing that's ever been hit or miss is that he designed SS4 or he drew it on a napkin or something. I
Yeah,
don't
which
know.
I believe Cap said something about this earlier, and I missed it. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is the best Vegeta form, like the best designed Vegeta.
Oh yeah, that's a very, very good form.
It was just damn. But let me start this off by saying that GT is not good. Everyone knows that. But the concepts that it introduces are stellar. Super Saiyan
He
4 is my favorite Super Saiyan form design
Mustached
because of how
SS4.
different it is.
Yeah, no, it's different, and it's the whole it relies on
Saiyan power.
yeah, like you were saying, relies on that. I was trying to think of some of the other stuff from that aspect because getting to the SS4 was a pain, though. It
Getting
really
to
was.
SS4 for both Goku and Vegeta was lazy. It was bad. Like I said, GT is not by any means good. You see a lot of people saying, I finally watched GT and it sucked. It does. And the fact that I prefer GT over Super says a lot.
Yeah, that's right too, Cap. It could
I
be at
honestly
some point.
expected something like that to happen in Broly.
That would have been really cool. But it was like the whole concept of the Black Star balls. I like that somewhat because it's like, oh, if you don't do it, the planet blows up. So I mean, that's
That's the part I liked most of all, is the concept of the Shadow Dragons being a result of the standard Dragon Balls being overused and the negative
which
energy that they absorbed from like the constant
yeah.
use was fantastic.
Unless we go back now, I don't see that happening. They're using those things like candy now.
Galera's at Bulma.
Nova Shenron. I like Nova
I
Shenron.
loved Nova Shenron. His fight with Goku is fantastic.
That was a good one.
And like I said at
It
the
lasted
start,
like 2 seconds, but I didn't mind the Super 17 stuff. I just wish it would have been
more dragged
the
out.
well, not even dragged out. It was just like there was literally no interlude from that. It was
Well,
like
here's the thing.
boom.
Here's the thing about Super 17, and this is like my biggest gripe is if your name is not Goku or Vegeta, you don't matter.
That's fair.
Because it just
You know what I did like though, and this may change depending on how the rest of the super stuff goes. GT's Gohan, he was still strong. He wasn't weak per se.
Yeah.
He took off his glasses, and, was fighting.
He was using outdated energy stealing orbs from seven. Yeah, I didn't like that part of it, but at the same time, I do kind of like it because can you imagine him absorbing a Kamehameha like full blast?
He did that, didn't he?
Okay. Well, imagine that with like what we're getting from Super.
Oh yeah, that makes sense though. As far as the scaling goes, I guess you could say. Uh, and GT had cooler and all of that.
Yeah,
person
actually.
got to kill
But
Nappa again.
the big thing that GT had for me was Baby. I will stand by this. Baby is my favorite Dragon Ball villain.
Maybe it's a good one.
No. Dragon Ball GT villain. I can't say he's my favorite Dragon Ball villain. He's definitely my favorite since Frieza and Cell.
And
Because
you're talking about the difference.
I just realized something about Super that just stuck out to me.
Uh-oh, what you got?
Aside from Zamasu, what main villains does it have?
Doesn't
Zamasu
really
and
have
Frieza.
a main. It doesn't really have a main villain per
In
se.
131 episodes, it only has 2 main villains.
I mean, it's just different concepts.
It's like you can't say the Tournament of Power had villains because it didn't.
No, they were literally
Universe
there.
6 tournament, there was no real villains. I guess you could count Beerus as a villain, but even then, not really.
When he first showed up, but then
Even then, not a whole lot. Super Baby 1, best design. Fuck, Super Baby. I thought the Ultimate Baby Vegeta was fantastic.
You talking about regular Baby Vegeta, or the one
No,
where he had the things out of his back, or the one where he got the pointy outfit?
He's talking about like when Baby Vegeta first. Wait, hold on. What Super Baby are you talking about?
Because there were
Because there was when he's just Vegeta with the white hair and the lines, and there's one where he's got like he's
spiky
got
things
like
or
the
whatever.
shoulder pads coming out, and then there's the Baby Vegeta that we know about. You like that design over the figure? Over the final form, baby? Really?
Had that, and then he turned into the big monkey.
That was just weird. But again, going back to what I said earlier, the reason I love the Baby Saga so much is because. Oh, so you're talking about the form I do like?
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the form I do like.
Yeah, that was there. Because the other thing was, as slim of a use as it was, they had a good use for Oob in GT, and I actually like that.
Yeah, for a little bit, but
Majub was an interesting concept.
Again, if they hadn't, like, if your name's not Goku or Vegeta, you don't matter. And their handling of Piccolo was a slap in the face.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. I also forgot about the GT.
Oh, I don't like that it gets rid of. Okay. I liked it because it showed that Baby is in full control of Vegeta at that point. And plus, I just thought it was a really cool design.
No, it's good there too. And then what else was there?
We don't talk about this Black Star Dragon Balls art. We don't talk.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
We don't talk about the Lost Ark. I'm sorry, we don't.
Imagine Piccolo. Yeah, Piccolo. Oh, I'm the evil Piccolo. Haha.
But
I totally forgot about that because that was the part of the arc where Frieza and Cell come back.
And they tricked Goku into going into hell, and apparently he can't get out now because reasons.
Like he's
so
never
Piccolo
been there.
goes there to help, And then he just spends the rest of eternity protecting people from the villains that get sent there.
Yeah, but if he's in hell, who is he protecting? Like, they're there for a
It's
reason.
like there's, oh yeah, wir hier to protect the gods and mess. Und wir hier to pop you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, GT, like, it's not as bad as everyone says it is. Is it great? No, but it's got wonderful concepts.
does.
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
Oh, I love
Oh,
Super Saiyan
that
4 Gogeta.
Even though when you look at how Gogeta looks normally, they ruined the design because his hair. Because Gogeta has the widow's peak, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does not.
Cap.
Cap, what's wrong with you? God, you wound me.
Why you hating SSJ4?
Why you don't like the SSJ4 Gogeta? Go get her.
Goeta,
Go
get
Gogeta.
a
Gogeta.
Goeta, yes.
You
No,
just
that's
explained
the-
why? Because they took away the widow's peak? You didn't like the confetti attack?
Red hair.
I love the red hair. Okay, here's the thing. Goku and Vegeta have red fur, blackish hair.
That's fair.
I like the switch that Gogeta has the red hair and the blackish brown fur. Bella with the hydrate,
Yeah.
thank you kindly.
That's because they were, and you gotta remember this. Not that it really matters or much, or if you want to think into it too much.
It's GT.
They're
You don't want
few-
to think too much.
Well, not that. Like, they're not fusing from their regular form. They're fusing based off of their SS4 forms. So, like,
So I like the reverse and the hair and the fur on that.
yeah. Exactly. That's the main thing.
And plus, it just looks better than just Super. I'm sorry. Like, visually, it just looks better.
Yeah. And it tells a very, very good, completish story in 64 episodes or so. So, I mean, like, that's interesting, too.
it's
Being
like-
the shortest of the series, or out of all
Understandably
Dragon.
so, but at the same time, I wish they would have dragged out a little bit more. What do you mean Super Saiyan 4 is the new
Oh,
base
my
form?
goodness.
They can't stay in Super Saiyan 4 long.
Yeah, this is Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. That's a thing in the
Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
yeah, whatever that thing is they're doing. I wonder if they're ever gonna dub that. But how could you not mention
I don't like
the
Resident Evil.
GT movie?
Oh, you mean the movie that I have not seen because it? No,
You haven't seen that?
Heroes Legacy.
Yeah.
No, never wanted to watch it.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah, 64 episodes.
Yeah, it's scary though. No, oh yeah, Goku Jr.
Yeah, Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. Oh,
Yeah.
you can go yellow too. What? No,
You
wait,
know,
that was
he,
at the end of GT. That was at the end of GT.
Well, it was in the movie too.
I know it was in the movie too, but was Vegeta
End of
Jr. in there?
Yeah, so it pivots to the same ending, right? But it's like the story before that. So like he I don't know.
I don't know, it was-
Yeah, his great grandchild, yeah, Goku Jr. gets scared and he
Yeah.
has to turn Super Saiyan to fight a bear or something.
Yeah, to protect someone, or I don't know.
It was interesting, but
Like I keep prefacing, GT is not great, but it's got a lot of fantastic concepts that I really enjoy. But
yeah, no, that's got the good concepts there. I mean, GT is, like I said, each one of these from original to Z to Super GT, like, I
remember
like,
that. Yeah, he goes on a hunt for the Dragon Balls because Pan is sick.
yeah, Pan gets sick. Like I said,
Which,
there's
by the
different
way,
elements.
Speaking of Pan and Bola, I wanted them to do so much more with those two, and I hate to keep cutting you off.
Oh, you're good. I'm sure they will do more with them now, based off
Well,
of
in
the.
GT, they didn't do shit with them because I don't.
They
know if-
didn't.
I don't know if you saw some of the pictures, but there was some fan art floating around back when GT was coming out that looked like borderline legit of Pan and Bola Super Saiyan.
Yeah, because they're about the same age, roughly.
There's about
About
3 years difference between them, I think.
It's like Goten and
Ish.
Trunks
Yeah.
is that type of thing. But that dynamic, I can definitely see happening. People
People were
thirsty.
thirsty. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say anything on that. Vegeta will kill us. No.
That episode
But
with him taking her shopping was funny.
oh yeah, and the people, yeah, because they run them off the road or whatever. But
Yeah.
what the hell was I gonna say? Oh, this leads me back to what I've always told you. There is no chance in hell they don't retcon the original Z ending now.
Oh, there's absolutely no attack. No attack. Jesus Christ, I was reading Cap's message.
Big Bang attack.
But yeah, there's. If they don't, I will honestly not be surprised, to be honest with you. But no, actually, if they don't retcon it, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, no, they're retconning it because
But the way they
everything makes
retcon it,
sense
I can
up
see
until the time skip or the however long of a jump
because
that's been.
where Dragon Ball Super takes place, it's about there.
Yeah, so
Where Dragon
there's
Ball Super takes, like the superhero movie takes place, it's about there.
oh yeah, it's
Which,
super
by the way,
close.
one thing we didn't talk about in that movie, Pan is adorable.
Oh yeah,
Pan's adorable.
Piccolo like in the plussies too.
Piccolo. I want to watch that movie again.
I
But
might actually get the steelbook for it.
I need that movie. But the way I've always imagined them wiping it out, like not retconning it, is like right before it happens, Whis and Beerus realize this is this is too much power for any mortal to have.
Oh, you can go that route, okay.
And so they completely wipe out all memory and all the power that they've gained since before Battle of Gods. They don't obviously they don't erase anyone who's born like Pan and Bullet. They won't erase Pan and Bullet, but I can see them basically like factory resetting everything, basically wiping out all of Super.
Oh, that would be hard to do though.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Have Zeno or the Grand Priest do it, or Whis.
Well, the other portion there is like, are they just going to forget about like Broly and stuff like that, and
Probably.
Black Frieza or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah. I can see them doing that.
they could. I don't think they would though. Like that, I think they would just retcon it eventually.
If they don't retcon it, I can see this being how they, make the end of Z canon. Need to rewind time? I got you. Have a baby? Instant birth. Oh, you're dead? Tap. Yeah.
Hey, he can only rewind for 3 minutes or however long he said.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes, I think. But
I'd still like to see more, and I could kind of have an idea of where they might go with this at some point. I think what we might happen to see eventually, or it could be in this arc, who's to say? And if I'm right on this, oh yeah, I called it. So, they have their level they're at now, all of that. Not saying that like they'd get new forms or whatever may have you. So it's kind of like the jump from Master Roshi training to Kami training. So instead of Whis now, they get trained by the Grand Priest.
we need to make it clip because you're calling it.
Hey, it could happen, but I'm saying like they had that natural progression, right? So they were training with,
I'm surprised they
Roshi.
haven't started training with the Grand Priest at this point.
Yes, so I think that'll happen at some point.
Because didn't they start teasing that when Goku was training with Miras?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, bring him on back, or he'll have to come visit us someday,
I
or
could have sworn they hinted at that at some point, but they just never did anything with it. Because go figure. But how have we not talked about the greatest Dragon Ball movie of all time? And yes, saying that sentence hurt me to my soul.
Uh, the best movie in the world. No. Um,
What? You know,
fun
one
fact,
of the worst adaptations of anything I've ever seen.
Cap, did you know this? I didn't know it either. That movie had a post-credit scene. Did not know that.
Oh, I did.
Didn't find out about that till about, so,
You want to hear
I
something
don't
funny
know,
about that movie?
5 years later.
You want to know something about that movie?
What about that movie?
After the movie's initial release, the director practically vanished.
He vanished.
After that
It's,
movie released, he it's like he doesn't even exist anymore.
yeah, they thought he thought it was going to get a sequel.
Because apparently the original script for the movie was more in line with what Dragon Ball was. But he hated it so much, he was like, no, we need to make it more modern. We need to make it more realistic. I know Dragon Ball, this is good. Trust me, they're going to love this.
Cap.
The director went on to make Avatar. No, because that was M. Night Shyamalan. And he's got a few good movies under his belt.
That's great. No, but I don't know what they would do with. I don't know. It's been so long since I've even watched Evolution.
What was your initial reaction as the movie was coming out?
As it was coming out, I was like,
Before you saw it before you saw it, and did you see it
I
in
was like,
theaters?
yes, I did, and I was like,
Didn't
ooh,
that
I
hurt?
have to go see this. I have to go
Didn't
see
that hurt?
this,
Didn't that hurt?
and hell, it hurt. All right.
Let me tell you about this movie. Like up until seeing it, I said no, this is gonna be great because you saw
Yeah.
all the pictures of like everything, and like it didn't look terrible
Yeah, it was.
as it was coming out. But all of my friends were like, "Dude, that movie's gonna be trash. That movie's gonna be trash. You know it."
Hey, Giku. Yep, that was a thing. Yep.
And you want to know at which point during the movie I knew I was in for a bad time?
Uh,
The first line of dialogue.
oh, is this the
A long time ago, Piccolo and his slave Uzaru.
yeah. I was like, wait a
I'm
second.
sitting in the theater going, what the like I actually said what the fuck in the middle of the theater.
Like, what is this?
And everyone was like, "Wait, are you serious?" And everyone like people were getting up and leaving. And I sat there and I watched the whole thing. And I hated myself for it. I get out of the movie theater and there are people like who had left like, dude, how bad was it?
How bad was it?
And I'm like, don't.
It was bad.
That being said, we're in one of my streams either last week or the week before. And I stand by this. I give the movie two pieces of props. One, I like the outfit.
Oh, it's the Goku's outfit,
Yeah,
or
I didn't think it was bad.
it wasn't too bad.
And just like, hold on, that was point one. Point two, the aura. How it was like a flame surrounding them.
Yeah,
I
the
used that concept in the series that I'm writing.
I didn't hate the big budget Kamehameha they used. It was cool. I liked that, but I mean,
Kamehameha didn't look bad, but
it was good for what it was. It was like what 2008.
nine.
Damn. See, why do you know the year? Like, what
Don't
is it?
ask.
Like, yeah, something like that. But no, I still to this day the thing that gets me is it was on YouTube one night or something. And I was like,
Well, when you
Dragon Ball post credit scene. I was like, there was a damn post credit scene. They thought there was a. And
It was so dumb too. You want to hear the funny part? They wanted to get Chris Sabat to voice Shenron,
oh,
but he read the script and he was like, "Are you guys fucking kidding right now? No, I'm not gonna be in this trash."
he knows the date because it's the day his soul left his body. I mean, maybe.
You're not wrong. Like
Like
I get to
what?
school that like around that same time, and my friends were like, "So, I don't want to talk to you right now."
No, I don't feel like talking to you right now about that. No, yeah, there's a reason they haven't done
And to
a
answer your question, are you writing a manga with your art? Maybe.
maybe.
Here's the plot twist: it's Christian based. Which that in
Yeah.
itself is a long story.
You've never seen
I
it,
count.
sir?
Let me say this. There's another piece of positivity I can give the movie. Chow Yun Fat was not a bad Roshi.
In the abridged version. Oh, no, Cap. We're having a roast of that one of these weekends. Nope.
What,
No
Dragon
ifs,
Ball?
ands, or buts. If he hasn't seen it, you are in for
Oh,
a
you can't be a
treat.
Dragon Ball fan and say you haven't seen Evolution.
You're right.
If you are a fan of the series, you have to suffer through the movie, so you know how not to make a Dragon Ball live action.
Oh yeah, their Piccolo is weird too for parts of it, and I'm
What's
like,
funny
what?
is I believe he was a little like he wasn't green when the movie was first being made. And James Marsters, who plays Piccolo, was like,
Hmm.
why is he not green?
Yeah.
Because green's stupid. You know Piccolo was green, right? I know how not to make a live action Dragon Ball. But you
It's
need to.
not the point.
It's
You
not
gotta
the.
watch it.
Listen, okay, we have to sit down and watch the movie and make a riff track out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm like, wait a
That movie
second,
is
this is
deserving of a riff track. Team Four Star did a riff track of it, which, by the way, all this talk about Dragon Ball, we haven't even mentioned that. And by the way, for those who are like, this is going on too long, I apologize, but we knew this was going to be a longer podcast.
oh yeah.
With us, like, there's no way this was going to be a hour and a half podcast. This
Yeah,
could
no,
take the entire stream time, and honestly, that's okay. Though I know you probably need to get some sleep soon.
at some point. Yeah, definitely need to do
So-
that, which is good because not that we would have not something to talk about, but there is something else tomorrow that they can catch us on too.
So what do you say we use that as kind of like part 2 to talk about the video games?
Yeah, we can definitely do that because the video games themselves, oh
Deserve
man,
their
yeah,
own podcast.
that could take their own
You cast Jackie Chan as Roshi.
package on his Roshi. Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, no, that's good there because we can play some Resident Evil and talk about this more.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that, I mean,
Wow,
that's
you're asking me if I want to talk about Dragon Ball. And the same game? Hey,
an hour
do you wanna-
talking.
we can spend an hour talking about.
Oh, that was so creepy. I was like, "What is that, man?" Like, he's like, "No, not you."
Also, we're gonna have to talk about Team Four Star Dragon. Just
Oh, yeah, that's his whole. That's
we
a whole
did-
like.
we didn't really touch on that, and
We got the games, got
I
it all,
understand
man.
that some people might get tired of me talking about Team Four Star, but I need y'all to understand something about me. When I first started streaming, they were my biggest inspiration. And it's not just
Yep.
because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, even though I'm not doing anything with that. Just their like energy and presence and their gaming stuff, I've been a fan of practically since they started. And it's watching specifically their Xenoverse playthrough is what cemented I want to do this. I want to do this.
Oh yeah,
And so they've been my biggest inspiration in like streaming and stuff. So, and plus all their podcasts as well. So I may talk a lot about them a lot, but that's because I have so much admiration for them and love and respect. Xenoverse 1 and 2 playthroughs were goated.
Oh,
their
yeah. They're
Xenoverse,
really good.
their Dark Souls, their Bloodborne, their Pokemon Nuzlocke. Yeah. But anyway, we are going to end the podcast here. For now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess you
No,
can
there's-
count tomorrow night as a part 2 for the podcast.
Yeah, it'd be like a part 2 for sure. I mean, there's the video games, there's everything. You already put one of the hot takes on there, and I agree, but we could talk about that more tomorrow too with Budokai's.
Oh, definitely. I look forward to that. But in the meantime, that's gonna be the end of the podcast for tonight. So as always, Big 893, thank you so much for being a part of this. I appreciate you. And Kat,
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. It's always a pleasure.
it came up multiple times to get you on here, but I was afraid that having too many people on this particular topic would make this go a lot longer than it already has. So I want to extend an invitation to you if you're not doing anything tomorrow night. If you're not doing anything tomorrow night, Cap, at my normal start time, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time to 11:30, something like that. If you want to be in the Discord call with us tomorrow to join us for the video games and the Team 4-Star, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
It depends on time, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time to 11:30
Yeah.
Central Standard
I think
Time.
he's in my time zone too, so I could be wrong.
So we'll keep in touch about that if you want to.
Yeah. It'd be amazing to have, you could oh yeah, he said he's happy to
All right.
join. There we go.
I mean,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
East.
yeah. So we'll let you kind of give like your brief summary on everything we talked about tonight if you want. We'll kind of recap. And then we'll
Absolutely.
jump into video games and the TFS.
Because you got video games, the abridged. I mean, video games in itself. There's a whole section you could.
The video games have been coming out since like 80 something to next week. So
Ooh, that's exciting. I'm next week. You're right. I forgot about that.
we got one coming out next week that neither one of us are gonna play.
I forgot about that.
That being said, though, can you imagine if some of us got that game? Because here's the thing: it's basically Dead by Daylight with Dragon Ball characters. Can you just imagine me walking around a cell as the killer? Because I'd be doing the voice.
Oh, now if you're gonna do that, then we got to play a round, one round. If you're gonna get into character with it, then
You
yes.
know I'm going to. You know I would. Imperfect Cell, though.
1, 2, I'm coming for you.
So no,
He
sexy
says-
jawline killer.
Here to
No,
gobble you
here's
up.
what I expect. I expect the more you go on as a killer, because you're going to start in base form.
Yeah. No, you don't even start in base form. You start in the larva thingy or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But anyway,
not the larva. Yeah,
the
but
more you kill, the like you get a new form.
Yep.
So it's going to go from, like in Cell's case, larva to imperfect to semi-perfect to perfect. So you'll have that perfect jawline.
You have
Only
the
I'm
perfect
coming to
zone.
eat you.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is gonna be exciting. I can't wait. Especially if we get Cap on the video game portion. Yes.
We got this. So, that being said, we are going to call the Codpast there. I've said that 5 minutes ago, but whatever. This was fantastic, and I'm not even sorry it went as long as it did. So we'll see
Going
y'all
so
back.
well, it's a part 2. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a part 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get the audio from Discord and combine this audio with that audio and just make it one big, or just do like part 1, part 2. Because like I said, I want to
Ooh.
turn this into like put this on like Spotify and iTunes somehow.
oh, that would be awesome.
So, that's something we'll have to figure out down the line. But in the meantime, wrapping this up, thank you all so much for joining us for the podcast. Yeah, it's 10:16, so I might raid out, just because I'm tired.
Yep,
And
That's fair.
will announce that I am streaming on Saturday. I'm doing a special Saturday night stream. I don't know what yet.
Special stream.
I don't know what yet, but I'll be streaming on Saturday, but we'll worry about that later. In the meantime, guys, thank you all so much for coming and being a part of this. You know what? Let's go say hi to Prez, shall we?
Yeah, let's go. Prezi Prez.
we're just gonna raid out right now. This is fine. And you are frozen right now because what?
I'm frozen in a
Oh, TikTok,
weird
got
spot.
it. Yeah, you're frozen because the thing ain't on. That's my bad. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for coming and being a part of this. Y'all are amazing. Have a fan-freaking-tastic rest of your night. We will see you tomorrow for some. Did you turn your thing off?
There it goes.
No, you were frozen because I went to the browser instead of.
Cursed images. Oh yeah, cursed
Cursed
images.
But
You know
anyway,
what? That come back to
anyway.
haunt me there.
Yeah. Y'all have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Resident Evil 6
Absolutely.
with this guy and the continuation of the Codpast. Talking about video games. And just have a wonderful night, guys. Absolutely love your faces. Mwah. See you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
That was
Oh,
excellent.
he's playing RE2 too. So.
That was excellent.
Oh, it was great.
I'm not surprised we went over, and it feels weird.
Welcome in, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird.
Did you end early tonight, bud? Everything all right?
Does it feel weird?
Hold on, I'm actually answering him.
Chaos Raid, hell yeah.
End of the podcast. Didn't want to do like 45 minutes of gameplay. Podcast part 2 during.
Welcome in. How was your stream, bud? You were doing not the chaotic podcast, not the podcast, the chaotic Codpast, I believe it's called. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you got it right, buddy.
Hope you had a fantastic time out there.
Was it?
It was awesome. I just ended the. You want to do like 45 minutes of gameplay podcast part 2 during RE6 tomorrow? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Well, you get to
I
have
did play
so
RE6
much
for
fun
the
with
CK. That was a lot of
RE6.
fun. We went into that with him telling me that RE6 is terrible, and then we had a blast
Oh, man.
because it was like we used the brain logic